unnamed players said they were warned they would be released by the league if they boycotted its upcoming media days. Well, the players said the threat was relayed to them by their coaches, but they later learned the directive came from Executive Vice President of Football Operations, Daryl Johnston. That would be considered unfair labor practices.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is at the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix.
Howdy.
Howdy.
It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Some people call that Little Friday.
Do they?
I don't know anybody that does, but some people do.
Some people.
Yeah, those people over there.
And they shall rename nameless.
Yes.
Little Friday?
I guess it's Thursday,
Small
for goodness sake.
Friday?
Yeah?
It's the weekend.
It's Thursday. Who gives a damn? I mean, right? It's Thursday. Yeah, for some people, it's their Friday.
Who?
Well, like the guy in the glass box over there.
Well, it's just he's going on vacation.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. James Pledger, about to take a rare day off.
It's good for him. He needs to get out of here for a while.
I'm jealous.
What are you jealous of?
Well, he's taking a Friday
Dude,
off.
You've already taken about, 2 weeks already,
I
haven't
have
you?
not.
Holy cow.
I have not. I have not. No, I mean, I'm glad he's taking time off. He needs it. But Pledge is on his way to Chicago, and he's going to go see Disturbed on Saturday night in Chicago.
Well, that'll be good, I guess, if that's what you want to do.
Well, I want to go see
Nice.
that. I'm going to go see Disturbed when they're here in San Antonio, which is in a month.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to go see him in May in Phoenix because they happen to be in Phoenix the day after my daughter graduates. So since I'm there, might as well go to the show.
Same show?
Yes.
Twice in a row?
Well, I mean, it's
whatever,
couple
dude.
weeks
It
later.
can't be a different show
on
in 2 months' time.
no, it's going to be the same show. But
you get nothing more, though, don't you?
I get nothing. Well, but nothing more is going to be in San Antonio, and they're going to be in Phoenix. You get 3 days grace. In Chicago tomorrow is the opener. But this Disturbed show, and I can't wait. Just seeing some of the stuff on social. I know, Reinagle, you have no idea what we're talking about, but
No
the
clue.
Disturbed ones out there do.
All right.
John Moyer, the
All
guitar
5 of them.
player, all 5 of them, and they're selling out every arena for this thing. But John Moyer, who is their guitar player, was telling me that they have put so much into this show. It's the 25th anniversary of Sickness, and they're playing that record, every song front to back, but every song has its own different production values to it, and they're telling the story of, and then they're playing their other hits too. It's a long and expensive show for Disturbed. So saw them about a year ago in Austin, but this show, everything that they put into it, I can't wait to go see this one.
Well, that's great. I hope you got Pledge. Chicago's a fun town. You'll have a great time.
I'll be drunk.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I expected no less.
I'm just a little worried about his flight because he's leaving, he's going to Houston, and then going to Chicago. And in Houston yesterday, some lady on a Southwest flight got butt-ass naked and started dancing on the plane.
You can only hope, Pledge.
Well, I know. Pledge missed it by like 15 different flights, man. That could have been his, or it could have been his roommate. That's the bigger concern.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen pictures of this lady that did that, but not all people running around butt naked on a flight are a good thing.
I will say that all the video that I saw, everything was blurred, but it wasn't like a blur that took out like 3 rows, right? So
It took up the whole aisle, though.
well, I mean, but I mean, aisles are what they are. But
I'm just saying.
But I'm saying, I mean, you know, the outline in the blur said that looked like a pretty damn good show.
Well, I don't know.
People weren't turning away to not look.
Yeah, The Blob was a good movie, too, back in the day, but I'm not sure it'd be good on an airplane.
What would you do?
Dude,
I'd
pull out and pull out my phone and start videotaping.
Maybe $1.
Yes.
Maybe $2.
I just thought maybe Southwest was upgrading their entertainment policy.
Oh, is that it?
Have a strip show on a flight.
Yeah, that's what Southwest is going to do.
Yeah.
They need to upgrade their snacks. I mean, their
horrible.
snacks have just gone completely downhill.
And, dude, are they ever going to do the reserve seating?
Eventually.
It's supposed to happen in February.
Well, they've delayed it. I keep getting emails from them. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
You'll be able to select your seat at your purchase for the A-list preferred type. So I don't know, but I don't know if they've quite figured it out. It sounded like a good idea at one point, but implementing the idea and then dealing with the unintended consequences.
Well, it's just a way for them to make more money.
Well,
I mean, it is,
sure,
right?
Sure.
So you A-list types are going to have your choice of seats, and the rest of us riffraff will have to upgrade and pay, $50 more for a better seat or whatever the hell that is. My problem is in Southwest, unless they redo every plane, they're all the same.
They're all the same. But it's where do you want to sit?
Well, geez, I'm not paying $50 to sit in row 8, even though you get drinks faster, apparently. That's what I hear.
Row 8 or 9.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I wish they'd just leave it alone. Although I've heard from a lot of people that are happy about it, so who knows?
Well, I think until you deal with it, you don't know if, people are just bitching the bitch because they're anticipating problems. Maybe it makes things a little bit smoother. Maybe it doesn't.
Sometimes it is nice to know where you're sitting.
Does it matter?
Not really.
I mean,
as long as I have an aisle seat, I really don't give a damn.
See, now you're going to have to pay extra for that.
Yeah, probably.
See, and that's what
yes.
I because I am so used to the Southwest way when I fly other airlines like United, it does piss you off that, like, all right, well, let's say you're buying this rate. You are, well, you get to stand in the bathroom the whole time. So, but if you want a seat with a buckle, you can move up 2 rows for $17 or 4 rows for $58. It's dumb, plus the baggage fees. As long as Southwest stays with the no bag fee, I'm good with everything they're doing.
I haven't seen anything where they're not going to do that.
No bag fee is kind of their thing. So, but you're right. I mean, unless they take out a bunch of rows to put in some first-class type seating.
It's all the same.
But then doesn't that cost them more money? One, refurbishing all the planes,
yes.
But 2, there'll be less seats on the plane.
Exactly right. I don't know, dude. That's their problem. I just, kind of like Southwest, and I wish they just leave it alone. I have no issue with how it is now. No problem with it.
I'm fine with Southwest.
Well, they apparently need some more money, so.
Don't we all?
I guess.
Don't we all?
What are we going to do?
Go to work and bitch.
Well, now I wonder how much they charge those passengers for that strip show. Was that an extra $15, $20?
No, that was called added value.
That was just a perk.
That's added value. That's unintended consequences with the stress of flying these days. I mean, and when you saw that, and you realize they hadn't even taken off yet. She was in Houston. Like that, I mean, if they would have said she was in Fort Lauderdale, all right, Florida, that makes sense. Coming back from Vegas, okay, she's still just completely hammered. We were flying back from where? Was it Los Angeles? And that girl was still so drunk and started throwing up in between us?
Yes.
That was Los Angeles, right?
It was. She had a good night.
Yes. And a bad morning.
A bad morning.
And to give you an idea of the gentleman that Reinagel is, this woman was clearly sick.
Uh-huh.
And even asked Joe, I might need that aisle. See, no, I'll get up when you're ready. Just give me notice.
I was a gentleman. You let me know, and I'll get up.
You would not give her the aisle seat.
I'm not sitting in the middle seat. Dude.
You know, she had a trash bag that she kept filling up, but you would not move fast enough out of your aisle seat.
I'm not moving. I mean, why should I? I didn't get drunk last night.
Well, you were.
No, I might have been, but not enough to throw up.
You know how to handle it.
She taught her a very valuable lesson. You know, she probably tells her friends, now, that guy was a real donkey. But Joe, I appreciate him.
Yeah.
That poor girl, man, she was in bad shape.
You could tell Joe had 5 daughters. She would be like, excuse me, and he'd give her the look.
Yeah.
Unbuckle, raise his tray, adjusting his iPad, pausing the movie while she's filling up a bag. You didn't move quick for her.
No, I didn't. It's all for her own good.
Then she'd come back minutes later, several minutes later.
I don't know, one time she was gone for a long time.
And Ryan Eagle's like, you okay this time?
Yeah.
Should I buckle or not?
So I was very nice to her. Very kind.
Good times. Good times for sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Jerry Jones and some of the stuff he said yesterday, let's dissect it today, because yesterday really was all about Zach Martin. But did he give any indications of what the Cowboys might do in free agency or the draft? We'll try to dissect what Jerry said. Coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The weather is absolutely gorgeous and doesn't look like there's any change in sight. So this weekend's a perfect opportunity to get out the sticks, dust them off, and go play some golf out at the Golf Club of Texas. I tell you what, that place right now with the sunshine, the little bit of rain we've had, the work that they've done out there, it is in phenomenal shape. Brand new golf cart paths all over the golf course. They've re-sided all over the place. It looks like a country club. It really does. You walk out there, you think, man, you're playing on at the Masters. All right, it's a swanky place. It's in great shape. It really is. It looks like a country club. It's not. It is open to the public 7 days a week, and it's got some of the best people working out there. They are the friendliest people that you'll ever want to meet. You will really feel at home and enjoy yourself out there. And then, look, after you're done, you go to the Tin Cup Bar and Grill for some lunch or even dinner if you're playing later, and a few drinks. It is a great spot, great way to spend a Saturday or a Sunday. Take your friends, take your family, whatever you want to do. The Golf Club of Texas is the place to be. And I tell you what you ought to do right now is go to golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. That's where the best rates are always online. You can book a tee time. You can do it all right there. The Golf Club of Texas, you know exactly where it is. It's right off Briggs Ranch Road, right there off Highway 90. You can head out there for dinner at the Tin Cup, go for a round of golf with your buddies. Hold your next tournament out there. Just check them out. Again, best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sports book, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com and join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
From a fender bender to a total loss, Davis Law Firm has a team of expert attorneys ready to get you back on the road with the verdict or settlement you deserve. Y hablamos español. Want more? Call the Fours. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio, 444-4444.
San Antonio, the NCAA 2025 Men's Final Four is coming April 4th through the 7th. Check out Reese's Men's Final Four Friday, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where you can watch open practices and the Reese's NABC All-Star Game at the Alamo Dome for free. And for the music lovers, March Madness Music Festival, presented by AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola, with 3 days of free concerts, featuring the biggest acts in music at Tower Park and Hemisphere. Visit ncaa.com/men's Final Four.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
With conference championships just around the corner, now's the time to register for Twin Peaks $1 Million Bracket Challenge. Go sign up at TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com and fill out your bracket before the tournament tips on March the 20th. Enter for a chance to win $2 million and other epic prizes, including $50 gift cards to the top bracket from every Twin Peaks lodge. Step up your game at Twin Peaks with 29-degree cold beer, handcrafted cocktails, and scratch kitchen-made food to satisfy your every craving. Only at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to VaxAssist.com and schedule today. That's VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, Rob Thompson here from my friends over at Prize Picks. The second half of the basketball season is here. The race to playoffs is on, and there's no better time to get Prize Picks because the money, it's heating up. 1,000 times your cash, Taco Tuesdays, and the way they pay. Let me tell you, Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your accounts. There's no better way to get started with Prize Picks than right now as basketball season ends. And here's the best thing about Prize Picks is you can combine different leagues. You got a favorite in the pros, you got a favorite in the college, you can put them together to really maximize your bets. And remember the code ALAMO. Remember, you download that when you sign up today. There's money to be had. No better place than Prize Picks right now. As the basketball season winds down, go for the place to get the best cash with your favorite sports. That's Prize Picks. You know what you're doing. Go play. In fact, go run your game.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. The Cincinnati Bengals have given Pro Bowl edge Trey Hendrickson permission to seek a trade.
That's just crazy. I mean, that really is crazy. I tell you what, Cincinnati, that was their worst problem last year, was defense. And you're going to let that guy get away?
Here's what I don't understand with some of the NFL contracts and the money. And I realize when you're at the top of your game, you're commanding a boatload of money. What does Jamar Chase want, $40 million? T. Higgins wants to get paid, and they want to keep Joe Burrow happy. They had T. Higgins and Jamar Chase last year with Joe Burrow, and they didn't make the playoffs because they couldn't stop anybody. If I'm Cincinnati, I do what I can to make sure Trey is happy, and if I lose one of those two great wide receivers, so be it.
Well, I totally agree with that, but I think it is. I think Joe Burrow is he's the king of Cincinnati, right? And what he wants is kind of takes priority, and he wants T. Higgins. Apparently, now Tom Pelissero is following that tweet up saying Hendrickson is due $16 million in the final year of his contract. The sides have been able to agree on an extension, and there's going to be a lot of interest in Trey Hendrickson. And Joey Bosa, released today by the L.A. Chargers.
Which, not really a surprise with his recent injury history and his cap hit. I don't know if he ends up back with the Chargers because he wanted to be a Charger for life at a reduced deal, or if he ends up in San Francisco with his brother, wherever he might end up. But, it's kind of like what we talked about last year with CeeDee Lamb. Receivers are all over the place.
Yep.
I pay one of them, sure. But in reality, I mean, you think about the best wide receivers in the National Football League, and other than maybe St. Brown in Detroit, who had a good playoff run with those high-priced, high-dollar wide receivers, right? When you look at, the Eagles have some, but not at the level in the $30 million range. To me, it's like I can replace a wide receiver. If you're Cincinnati, you can't replace a Trey Hendrickson. You can't replace a Micah Parsons. You can hide their loss a little bit differently, but you got a player like that if you're Cincinnati and you are awful at defense. You keep him and you lose one of the two great receivers that you have. You got one. Most teams can get by with one. Having two, you wonder how they're going to get that done, which I see this, and if I'm Micah's agent, I'm on the phone with Jerry and Steven saying, what are we doing here? Are we gonna drag this out, or are we gonna get this done sooner rather than later? Because now it's not worrying about what will Cincinnati give this guy, knowing that they've got to take care of T and they got to take care of Jamar. But now if Trey Hendricks is able to work a trade and get a new deal with somebody else, what does that mean for the Dallas Cowboys about the cost of doing business going up as it pertains to Micah Parsons?
Now, if I'm Micah Parsons, I'm in no hurry at all now. I'm not worried. I'm just sitting there. I'm under contract. I'm in no hurry to sign anything right now. I don't care if Jerry comes to him and says, "Here's a deal." That's just, I'm gonna go to Mexico for a while. I'll call you when I get back. I'm in no hurry. I mean, if it behooves Micah Parsons to sit and wait on guys like this. But I mean, this is typical Bengals, and you almost feel bad for good players like Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, because they put up more points than anybody last year would have, and had no defense, had absolutely nothing. And then you're going to give away your best defensive player. I'm with you. I think I'd tell T. Higgins, it's been nice knowing you, buddy, and see you later. You keep Jamar Chase, obviously, because he's obviously one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. But T. Higgins, as good as he is and as much as you want to keep him, I just think that's a bad decision. If that's how they're weighing this, we want to keep Higgins and let Hendrickson walk. It makes no sense to me.
That makes no sense to me either. But from a Cowboy perspective, knowing who was going to sign first, was it going to be Trey? Was it going to be Micah? Trey Hendrickson might make more money from another team because they're going to give up assets to get him and then sign him. And then you still have a Myles Garrett out there trying to go somewhere else. And you look at the way the Cowboys typically do business. Now, Jerry and Steven have been pointing out, they get hammered for waiting on CD and Dak, but it takes two to tango. Now, obviously, they would have gotten to that number sooner. Maybe they would have got those deals done sooner because deadlines do make deals. But the Cowboys this offseason seem to be working ahead of schedule. Getting the deal with Bosa done early, I think, was big. And they've reworked CD and Dak, no surprise there, but that frees up money. Kind of feels like they're setting the table to do something in free agency, although Jerry Jones said yesterday they're not looking at free agency to fill voids.
I don't think aggressive is the right word. I think when we see a part that a player that can take us in a direction that can improve where we're going to be pretty significantly from where we're going to be if that opportunity wasn't there, for that, whether it be the talent of that individual player or whether it be addressing any perceived places we need help. I wouldn't call us really void in any area, void if you include what we're going to do in the draft. I wouldn't see that. So as your question is addressing free agency, I'm not looking at free agency as a place to fill voids.
Okay, so they're clearing all this cap space, but then free agency is not on the game plan right now for the Cowboys. According to Jerry Jones, keep in mind the Cowboys have 10 draft picks.
Yep.
That's what they have right now, and so they've got some draft capital if they want to explore a trade perhaps with somebody. Maybe it's not free agency. Maybe it's a trade somewhere. I don't know, but again, when we talk about Trey Hendrickson, Jerry Jones makes no sense to me either.
Well, and I look at, I mean, okay, so when you think about filling voids, free agents on the offense for the Cowboys, you got Brandon Cooks, technically already been replaced by Jonathan Mingo. All right, I'm just saying. I mean,
go ahead.
As he's looking at his board, there's a slot for everybody.
Sure.
You know,
Uh-huh.
Chuma Edoga, free agent, he's already technically been replaced by Tyler Guyton. They need a running back. Will they bring Rico back? Is that an indication that they could go running back in the draft? Possibly. It's a deep running back class. All these mocks have the Cowboys taking a running back at 12 overall, although Todd McShay said not at number 12 will the Cowboys take a running back.
We look at running back. Here's the thing with Cowboys fans, because there's a really good chance, if what I'm hearing is true, that it's not going to be Genty. It's not going to be Hampton here at 12.
All right, good. I like that because there's a deep running back class. They don't need to use the number 12 overall pick. You look at the defensive side of things. You know, DeMarcus Lawrence, is he going to come back? Well, you have Marshawn Nealon that you drafted a year ago. Eric Kendricks, he's a free agent. He was a one-year rental. Who knows if that guy's going to come back, but you probably need to replace him. Jordan Lewis is one that I hope they re-sign, but are they thinking they're just going to go draft somebody and plug them in? Again, Cowboys always tell us, Will McClain always says, they draft best person available. Jerry just said, voids can be filled in the draft. So are you going at position or best player available? Which way are you going to handle things if you're the Cowboys with the draft coming?
It's going to be interesting to see, obviously. But if you're looking at Jerry, they don't take a running back there. They take a defensive lineman or perhaps a cornerback, because keep in mind, you're most likely not going to have Trayvon Diggs this year. He's still out and probably won't recover and be able to play this season. So a lot of holes to fill. Linebacker, what's the future for Overshown? I've read reports where it'd be week 6 or 7 before he could possibly get back. So that's another hole that you need to fill. You can't do all of that with rookies. They tried that last year, and it didn't work.
And you look at the Cowboys' defense. And, again, we're just trying to read tea leaves right now to get an indication. If they're not going to fill some of these voids in free agency, and are the voids as big for them as they feel like they are for us, because, they seem pretty happy with some of the work that they have done. But then again, sometimes, and listen to Stephen Jones carefully on this, he says something and then realizes in the moment, I can't believe I said this.
Well, I think you start with just you look at what we have there. I mean, it's we've got Mozzie before we signed Bosa. So, I mean, not to diminish any of the other younger guys that we have there, but obviously there's not a lot of resources tied up, in the front seven. I think it's obvious that we're, going to continue to try to. I don't think we're done there yet. We've got to continue to beef it up. It'll be great, though, that we're getting guys like Sam Williams back, and Nealon, unfortunately, missed quite a bit of time there, and that's hard when you're a rookie to come back from that and get going again. But we do like what we've got coming there, but I still think we've got work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got Mozzie. I would like to have seen his face when he said that.
Yeah.
Geez, all we have is Mozzie?
Why
We're
was
screwed.
Why was it so important to get Osa done? Dude, have you seen Mozzie Smith play? That's our only other option. I mean,
Holy
Carlos
cow.
Watkins is a free agent. Linval Joseph is a free agent. Who else do we have there? Some dude named Ernest Brown?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, seriously, I'm looking at their depth chart. I don't even know who Ernest is.
Yeah, so
right?
that's obviously a priority.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that. I'm looking at a tweet from Todd Archer right here that I find interesting, and I don't know if you may be aware of this, but the contracts of DeMarcus Lawrence and Brandon Cooks have already voided. Lawrence is going to count $7.5 million against the cap in 25. Cooks will count $4 million against the cap in 25. And he says if either re-sign with the team, the cap number would be in addition to those numbers. So that's interesting. They're still going to count against the cap whether they're here or not, according to Todd Archer.
Yeah, because dead cap money, that's normal.
That's $11 million.
Yeah, but I mean, that's, you know.
It's $11 million.
It's $11 million against the cap.
Yes. I find that interesting, and it doesn't matter, I guess. Even if they re-sign him, either one of those guys or both, that number stays. Interesting.
Going to be interesting. I don't know. The one thing, though, that I did like from Jerry in what he said yesterday, and it goes in line with something that you and I, Joe, have been talking about for weeks, is the Cowboys have to be better in the NFC East. You know, last several years it's been Dallas, Philly, Dallas, Philly, Dallas, Philly. Washington doesn't look like they're going anywhere. Getting out of the East has gotten a lot tougher, and Jerry certainly recognizes that.
Very competitive with our division, not just the Eagles, but with the division. Eagles are a prime one to talk to because they are the world champ. And you look good when you're the world champ, as it should be. But we'll see how it goes. It's not smart to say that we're as good or better than the Eagles right now because they happen to be the world champs. So I'm not going to be dumb there.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
You think I'm an idiot?
Well, I mean, that's he's right. You can't. There are 31 other teams in the league that can't say they're better than the Eagles right now because the Eagles are the champions.
Yep.
So right now the Eagles are on the top of the mountain until somebody knocks them off, and so that was smart of Jerry. And just looking at it right now, this team, this Cowboy team, there's a lot of distance, I think, between them and the Eagles and the Commanders, for that matter. So they've got some ground to make up between now and September.
Well, and again, do they do that? If not free agency, they can draft 10 guys. 10 guys aren't going to make this team. So do you use some of those picks to maybe work a trade? And Stephen Jones talked about yesterday, they're always doing a little bit of fishing.
We go to teams all the time. I mean, we're fishing and looking and, you know, looking for an efficient move that makes sense from a draft pick standpoint and a salary cap standpoint that makes good sense. And, you know, we're always in the market for that. I will agree last year was a real exception because, you know, staring down the barrel at, which most people don't have, you know, getting Dak signed, getting CD signed, and ultimately getting Micah signed, which is still our goal.
Wow, it's still our goal. Staring down the barrel of Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
My quarterback, Dak Prescott.
Old Dak with a shotgun pointed at Steven. Make the deal, Steven, or I'm going to Daddy. Well, that's Daddy.
Again, the Joneses put themselves in that position to stare down the barrel.
Wow. Unbelievable, man. It's going to be a fun and interesting offseason, as it always is, covering the Dallas Cowboys.
And it's not just the Cowboys. Some of the other moves made today. Let's dive in. Everything going on in the NFL. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, let me tell you about Hill Electric. And you know, when you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available for both residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house through the years. Added extra outlets in the garage, put up a spotlight, a motion light over one of the grills outside, dimmer lights in the living room. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. Whatever your project is, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price. Never a service charge, always free estimates. So it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. Need lights moved? You have some kind of fuse that's always blowing. You need to add in more USB ports. Call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or go to their website, hill-electric.com.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then You spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team: Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Many of the successes you've had began with a great opportunity. Now, here's another one. Get started on your degree or certificate in San Antonio. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs, faster onboarding, and more from University of Maryland Global Campus. Get personalized local support services and take online or hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Welcome to The Hangar, Petrenko, your go-to spot for mouthwatering wings, ice-cold cocktails, and an unforgettable atmosphere. Come taste some of the best wings in town, served by their friendly staff with even friendlier cocktails. Only at Hangar Petrenko, where great food, drinks, and friends come together.
Choose Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil designed for today's engines exclusively at your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, April 14th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Pan American Golf Association, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Ensira.com and PPL Motorhomes. It's in the hole! The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, April 14th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Tomorrow, the Blitz will be live out at the Mellow Mushroom, 2 to 6. Mellow Mushroom there in Stone Oak. Half-price happy hour. You get to enjoy that while we work.
And we're happy to do that and happy to watch you have a good time. That didn't sound sincere, did it?
Not at all.
Not at all. No.
It's almost like the dude that said, I saw Joe, I saw you last night at Willie's. You're like, why didn't you say hi?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't.
I don't know either. Well, he was being respectful, he said.
Next time.
Next time.
Was that sincere?
Sure. I mean, I guess. I don't have a problem with that, though. I mean, I've never had a problem with that.
No, unless it's in the men's room.
Well, unless you're Jelly Roll. I mean, if you're Jelly Roll, it's fine.
No, Jelly Roll didn't say hi to you. You said hi to him.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, he surprised the hell out of me.
Why, because he walked in and he's Jelly Roll?
Who the hell's expecting Jelly Roll to walk in the bathroom? I'm not.
I mean, everybody pees.
Well, that's true, and I'm happy because it's Jelly Roll. That's all he did. Woo-wee!
Come on, man. Come on. That's so bad.
I love the guy.
Man, we got a poll. What
a poll.
Yeah, look at this poll on our YouTube channel. This coming from somebody that must question you.
Well, if it's the person that I think it is, why would he question that?
Ryan?
Yes. He knows very well I'm not sincere.
The poll question is, Joe a sincere person?
But yes is the answer, of course. I mean, why wouldn't you say that?
Exactly. Uh-huh.
He's having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Mm-hmm. And one of the other questions on YouTube is about the Spiffy Reinagle or the Stiffy Reinagle. The folks at the Roo Pub are working on it. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They've been lots of text messages back and forth, most of them not for air, but they are working on it. The Spiffy Reinagle will make its way to the Roo Pub.
We went straight to the top.
Yes.
That's why. I mean, you got a good idea for a guy that's an idea man. He knows it's a good idea.
And like most in a position like Chip is in, he has passed that on to bartenders.
Exactly.
Got my staff working on it.
Exactly right.
Should it be a vodka drink? Should it be a tequila drink? Should it be a whiskey drink?
Well, it depends, I guess. I mean, if it's a shot or a drink. Yesterday we were talking about shots.
Yes.
I would prefer a drink. I'm a vodka and ginger ale guy.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
I think we should do a promotion at the Big Blind where every time somebody gets to the flop, they have to have a Stiffy Reinagle.
A Stiffy Reinagle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it helps. If you're flopping, you need a Stiffy.
Apparently the Morning Huddle boys were hating on your Spiffy Reinagle.
Well, that's all right. Well, I care what the morning guys say. I mean, seriously. I don't give a damn what they say. Those two guys wouldn't know class if it hit them in the mouth. Kidding me?
What do you figure Hoffman's shot is? Rumplement?
Whatever is free. Well, that's what his shot is.
There is that. Deshaun Watson, anything but free. The Cleveland Browns have restructured his deal again to try to get cap compliant. Now, I know because of injury that this will go down as the worst trade ever, worst contract ever. But when you look at his games played and the amount of money, he is setting a record that I don't know will ever be broken in any of our lifetimes when he looks at his per game played versus paycheck average. I mean, my goodness, somewhere guys like Ben Simmons and Kawhi Leonard are saying, that guy, Deshaun, he's got it figured out. Embiid is getting into that category, but Deshaun, what has he played, 19 games for Cleveland? 19.
Well, he's been on the field for 19. I'm not sure he's played any of them. I'll be honest with you. The guy's been horrible since he got to Cleveland.
He's had a couple of decent moments in Cleveland, hadn't he? I say decent moments.
I can't recall any.
I mean, no, nobody can, but not enough to judge. Now, again, buyer's remorse being what it is, if Deshaun Watson showed up in Cleveland and played like the Texans guy, who knows, right? But since he hasn't, and it's been so bad between injury and suspension, and he's not going to play next year, more than likely, but they got to continue to restructure, although there is some insurance, so they will get some cap relief from insurance on his deal.
Well, that's good for Cleveland. But, I mean, they're doing everything they can to try and move on from this guy. The problem is it's too expensive. Nobody's going to trade for him because he can't stay on the field. And just because he's Deshaun Watson and what's happened. But I'm with you. When this all went down, I thought Cleveland, okay, they shouldn't have done what they did, but I think, they need a quarterback. It wasn't a horrible move. If Deshaun Watson played anything like he played for the Houston Texans, I mean, Cleveland they haven't had a quarterback like that in a long time. But obviously it hasn't worked out that well.
So while you were doing that, and those watching on YouTube can't see this because we don't put a camera on Pledge, but James did the whole swinging for a home run. Cleveland swung for the fences. And now they get beat up for it. As a sports fan, don't you want your teams to swing for the fences? We're so mad at Jerry Jones for not doing anything last year. You look at the Spurs right now. When are they going to use all that draft capital they've been banking? When are they going to go make that splash move? Sometimes you swing for the fences and it works. Sometimes you swing for the fences and it blows up in your face. But as a sports fan, don't we wish more teams would be risk takers like they were in Cleveland with Deshaun Watson? Does it turn out to be a bad deal? Absolutely it does. But at the time, if you're a Cleveland fan, you were excited about the move.
Absolutely.
Sports fans, we were like, I can't believe they did that. But, man, that is a team that is all in.
They're all in. They need a quarterback. You've got an established veteran quarterback who put some good numbers on the scoreboard when he was in Houston. And obviously he was a great college player too. But I just think, his aura. I mean, with the massage parlor thing, and then he can't recover from it. Now Cleveland is screwed, and they're trying like hell to get out from under that contract.
Well, and again, if you're going to swing for the fences, and I think we've all learned this from the Deshaun Watson deal, and you look at, again, the way Philadelphia is doing things, front load some deals so you can get out of them later. But again, is much crap as Cleveland takes for having Deshaun Watson in this ridiculous contract that is handcuffing them in so many ways. At the time of the deal, give them credit for swinging for the fences.
I do.
I mean, if you're a Texan fan right now, you're looking at, I don't know, DK Metcalf. Could you imagine DK? It cost you, they're saying a first and a third in a contract.
That's way too much money.
It is way too much money, but if Nick Caserio were to do something like that, whether it's DK Metcalf or not, but are you showing your fan base that you're willing to roll the dice and take that risk? Is that what you want, or be trepid and try to be, I don't know, selectively aggressive, and tell me how far that gets you?
Well, I just think they're two different scenarios. When you're talking about Watson and a DK Metcalf in this situation, Houston's cupboard is not bare. I mean, they don't really need to take a swing for a guy like DK Metcalf and lose that draft capital. They can find somebody, and I just don't think it would cost them that much. They've still got one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. So with Watson, Cleveland has been desperate to find a quarterback. So you see a quarterback that Houston doesn't want anymore for obvious reasons, and you have an opportunity to get this guy. You obviously overpay for him and piss off every other owner in the league by giving him a fully guaranteed contract. But in that situation, you could see the risk was worth it at that time.
Yeah, at the time. Turns out to just be awful. He still has 2 years remaining on his 5-year deal. What does he get? $46 million each of the next 2 seasons.
Whew.
To not play.
So he probably got a nice fat check in his bank account today.
Yep. To not. And again, if you're Cleveland, do you go get a veteran quarterback, or are you going to draft a quarterback at number 2? Gosh. I mean, it's or do you kind of do both? Because Deshaun Watson isn't in your future.
No.
And he's nowhere near at a point now where you could even trade him, because nobody is going to take that deal. Just awful. Now, you look at some of the other NFL news today. I mentioned DK Metcalf. He's requesting a trade. Trey Hendrickson with Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati, as much as we talk about the Cowboys, I could only imagine what it's like to be a Bengals fan or a sports talk radio host in Cincinnati. You know, you're trying to keep Joe Burrow happy. You got to figure out T. Higgins, who many were surprised he played last year on the tag, but he did. You got Jamar Chase. He wants his deal. Trey wants his deal. And Trey, you can go get a trade. Bengals not taking calls on T. So are they gonna pay all these wide receivers and then not have a defense to keep Joe Burrow happy?
Yeah, and if I'm Joe Burrow, he's a smart guy. You got to know that, look, you love T. Higgins. I get it. I understand it. And you don't want to lose the guy. But, you know, at some point in time, you might want to think about upgrading that defense. And then you let your best defensive player go seek a trade. To me, that makes no sense if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. Look, apparently there is a lot of interest in T. Higgins. From everything that I've read, teams calling the Bengals all over the place, saying, what would you trade this guy for? Maybe the Bengals are smarter than we think, and they've tagged him and will trade him eventually. That's a possibility, and then get something for him. But the fact that they actually have given Hendrickson permission to seek a trade, I mean, it's just mind-blowing to me.
I don't get it. But then, you know, it's the nature of the business when you aren't playing up to the level of your contract. Joey Bosa, released by the Los Angeles Chargers, the last of the former San Diego Chargers.
Isn't that crazy?
Longest tenured guy. He's a guy that thought he was going to play his entire career. There's an article about him, and he said, Joey Bosa said at one point, quote, "I always thought of myself as being somebody that will play here and retire here, which I think not many people do on one team. I think it would be a cool thing to accomplish, but you never know." He said that before the season. But he makes too much money. He's been hurt a lot last year. A lot of early indications, and who knows? I mean, it's the low-hanging fruit. Could he end up with Nick Bosa in San Francisco? But at this point in his career, he ain't worth $25 million or whatever he was going to get. He was going to count $25 million against the Chargers cap. But could you imagine having Bosa available as your third down guy?
It would be great. He's got to stay on the field, though, and that's been the problem for him. Injuries have been an issue. He's not a guy that you can rely on, like a Micah Parsons or a Trey Hendrickson, or name a great pass rusher. You can't. You can't count on him for a full season. So somebody will pick him up, and I would imagine he's still got some gas left in the tank. It'd be great to see him go to San Francisco and play with his brother.
Not really.
Well, why not?
Because 28 games.
San Francisco's your daddy? Well, that's daddy.
I mean, he's played 28 games in the last 3 years. Although, didn't he play pretty well against those Houston Texans this year in the playoffs? I think he did.
Now, he's a great player. The problem is staying on the field. He's had injury problems, and that's, you know, you pay a guy that much money, you expect him to play. He just hadn't been able to.
Well, and again, you expect, you know, there are a lot of teams out there with a lot of cap space. And with the cap going up $25 million or so, longtime agent Lee Steinberg, he expects a free agency bonanza this year because, you know, the old saying, yesterday's price isn't today's price. And I could make a tariff joke in there too, but I mean, the reality is a lot of players see that extra cap money that teams are going to have. And so what they were thinking they were going to get, they've just increased that, or at least their agents have, because that's money that's available to them.
But I think NFL teams are going to pay it too. And I think Steinberg's point in this whole thing is that it's a faster way to build a championship team. It just is. It's a more expensive way, obviously, than doing it through the draft, but it is a quicker way in most cases to build a championship quality team. And so I think teams are going to be active in the free agent market. I can't wait. It all starts on Monday, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be interesting to see where some of these players end up and who is aggressive and who isn't.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Like our golf tournament coming up on April 14th. Our Spring Golf Classic, brought to you by Flight by Yingling, happening April 14th out at the Golf Club of Texas. Go get your team signed up at sasportstar.com. It's $400 for your foursome. That's $100 a player. You can sign up as an individual. Costs you $120 to do that. It all benefits the Pan American Golf Association. Brought to you in part by Ancira and PPL Motorhomes. Get signed up now, sasportstar.com.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Have you ever done a jingle, Pat Green?
It's my only jingle experience. My first line is, "This is the worst thing I've ever heard." The engineer raised his clipboard up over his head and smashed it onto the soundboard. Buttons scattered like Legos across the room. And then my violin player goes, "He wrote that jingle, man."
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Madame Giselle senses a change in your future.
Is it a promotion?
I see a door opening.
Ooh, to a corner office?
There's a creature. Beady eyes, lots of hair.
Is it my boss, Dave?
No, raccoons everywhere. Your RV door is open, and they're chewing everything.
Not a problem. I'm covered by Progressive. Do you see a bigger paycheck?
Customize your coverage with Progressive's past damage protection and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Past damage protection available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
The St. Patty's Day parties at the Roo Pub are legendary, and this year it will be the biggest ever, spanning 2 days. Sunday, March 16th, it's a crawfish boil, all you can eat for $10. Then on St. Patrick's Day, Monday, it's a block party. The green beer will be flowing with live music starting at 2 with Irish Goodbye. Finding Friday takes the stage at 5. DJs inside both the Roo Pub and Angry Elephant. Plan now to celebrate St. Patrick's Day the right way at the Roo Pub and Angry Elephant, 281 in Redland Road.
George gets justice.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we are the ones you can trust. With over 100 years of combined experience, we are committed to helping people in our local community. Get George Salinas Injury Lawyers and put our experience to work for you and your case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
NFL draft analyst Todd McShay, back from the NFL Combine, says through his sources he's hearing the Cowboys won't draft a running back at number 12, no matter who's available. Houston Texans made a move today, re-signing defensive tackle Kurt Heinisch to a one-year deal with a maximum value of $2.35 million. And the Cleveland Browns have restructured Deshaun Watson's deal. They free up $36 million of cap space.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. YouTube, subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page if you're listening online. One of the apps. Appreciate you tuning in on this Thursday. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Yeah, it's great to have everybody here today, and great. Man, it's been a good week. Really has exciting week. I'm looking forward to next week with the free agent period starting, and I get geeked up about the offseason.
Well, I mean, free agency, we're not that far away from March Madness.
March Madness is coming up.
March Madness.
And we're doing something special for that, aren't we?
We are. Specifically, we're combining everything. Mega March weekend. March 27th and 28th, that's a Thursday and Friday. The Blitz is going to be live at Circa Las Vegas. Now, you can come out to hang out with us. We're staying for the whole weekend, too. We're not coming home until Sunday afternoon. So you can come book your flights, get your hotel at circalasvegas.com, promo code Blitz. That will save you some money there. You can go to sasportstar.com as well. There's a deal there. You can push that link, and it will take you right to the discounted page to reserve your rooms at Circa Las Vegas, which is just always a blast.
Oh, it's a blast. The place is a lot of fun. We're a lot of fun. So it just makes fun all over the place.
Absolutely. You know, we do a lot of things that creates FOMO. And the idea that this is like we can't necessarily take you to Cowboys camp. We can't take you to Super Bowl Radio Row. We can take you to this. Take you. We can help get you into some things because we do a lot of cool things at Circa. Once we are there, we'll have an event. We'll have, kind of a listener party on Saturday at one of the bars or, depending on how many people say what they want to do, we'll get a cabana. They go above and beyond to take care of the Blitz listeners when we go to Circa Las Vegas.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They've been really good to us. We like them. They like us. And it's really home now when you go to Las Vegas. Circa, it's just a great place to be. And I got to tell you, I was blown away, and I'm still blown away, even though I've been there 3 times now. When you go out to that pool and you see those screens out there, it's amazing what they've done.
The whole experience is incredible. And I know that those that have gone are going again. And from what I could tell, and if you've booked your room, hopefully you're at Circa, but if you're just in Vegas because you've got stuff other places, and just let us know you're there. We can get you into things, but you got to communicate with us. Direct message on Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Send a pigeon, however you need to do it. Just make sure that we know you are there. It's great. In fact, in the restaurants there, that Barry's Steakhouse is great, and that 9 East restaurant, they've got the best brisket fried rice. Now,
they do. It's good.
I made fried rice last night on my Blackstone.
Oh, yeah?
Although I did teriyaki chicken. But when I was making that, I was thinking, man, I wish I had some leftover brisket for this to try to mimic what, and I wouldn't have come close because, look, a lot of places have brisket fried rice. I would never think that a place in Vegas, I would say, now, I've never had just the regular brisket, but the way they do their brisket and that fried rice, I'd love to figure out where they're getting their brisket done and just order their brisket there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because it is that good.
It's good. You know what? It's good kind of late night, right? I say late night. I don't know how long they stay open, but I know Maggie and I, the last time we were there, it was like 9 o'clock, 9:30.
Oh, that's late night for you, huh?
Well, yeah.
It's that,
it is.
That sandwich shop next door, that 3 a.m. meal that you always got.
Now, that one is good, too. It's 24 hours.
What is that one called?
I don't know.
That's good, but yeah, that's 24 hours.
It's the breakfast spot, too.
It is the breakfast spot every day.
No doubt.
That's a good spot. And a pro tip for you there, just charge everything to Ryan Eagle's room.
Yeah, just do that. Or the Underhills, either way.
The Underhills. Somehow I think you've done that before.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. And, we're going out there on a Southwest plane, which is, our company jet.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. 2 guys, 2 opinions, never enough time.
No, I've never seen this on any of my Southwest flights. And I don't know if I'm happy about this or not. Well, quite frankly, a lot of times when you see weird stuff in the air, I've never been on a plane that had one of these kind of incidents that goes viral, right?
I never have either.
Shouting matches, fights, weird
I'm
things.
Happy about, actually.
Yeah. I mean, part of me is like, all right, I've never seen that. And this plane wasn't even in the air yet. Lady getting on a plane in Houston. They've boarded. They've closed the door. They haven't backed up yet. Woman strips down naked, and she's walking up and down the aisles, gets to the front area where the bathroom is and the drinks, and then she starts dancing. Yeah, no music either. I don't know what was going on in her head, but there was no music playing.
Yeah, there was music in her head, and a lot of voices, I'm sure. A lot of different things. But, yeah, it was crazy. And you don't get to see it, obviously, from the stories we've seen, except a big blob. But it's a woman, and she's naked.
She's naked. Got naked. And it's interesting, though, the backs of heads as people realize, what the hell? What the? And then everybody's grabbing their phone because that's what we do in 2025.
It's exactly what we do. But I don't know what happened to. Did you see in the story? I mean,
they arrested
her. They
them.
did, but I don't know if they're going to charge her. I heard it's up to Southwest Airlines, and they may not. And the plane wasn't in the air. I don't know what they're going to do with her. So well, we're having fun with the story. The lady obviously needs some help. Or she's just a hell of a stripper, one of the two.
I mean, she doesn't get paid there.
No, but was there maybe she had a writing on her.
You thought there was an ad there?
Maybe there's an ad there on the stomach for her strip club. If you come to.
Well, I mean, everything.
George's place.
Everything got blurred out. Why are we going to George's bar, man?
You can see this in person.
Yeah.
And more like it. I don't know if you could write all that on her stomach, but I'm just saying.
She wasn't that big.
Well, I don't know how big she was.
I mean, the blob wasn't big enough to be.
The blob was pretty big.
I mean, she seemed pretty confident.
God, that's one way to look at it. Or buzzed out of her mind, one of the two.
Either way.
Yeah.
Let me take a gummy before this flight.
Or the whole package.
That first one didn't do anything. Let me have another.
Yeah.
Woo.
Crazy.
Now, when I first saw this next story, I thought that was Louisiana. Because it sounds like something that would happen in Louisiana. But, of course, it's Florida. We'll just start with the 911 call that will go right into the newscast explaining what's going on.
Central 911, what's the object of emergency? We have 2 people bit by alligators. The woman's arm is really badly bitten, and the other man, I think, was bit in the leg by alligator. When they tried to move her arm so that to put the thing on, she's screaming. So she's in too much pain for them to get the bandage on.
It was an alligator.
Okay, I know she's screaming, but we do have to, if you want me to talk to her, we do need to place it, no matter what, so we can stop that, because we don't want her to bleed out.
Well, the woman referenced in those calls was bitten in the elbow, according to FWC. She was airlifted to the hospital, but there's no word yet on her condition. It appears the man she was with was not seriously hurt. Experts say while incidents like this are not common, the gator may have felt threatened, so naturally it acted to defend itself. FWC is reminding everybody that with the start of alligator breeding season, male gators can become more territorial, increasing the chances of encounters with humans, so always keep a safe distance, never feed a gator, and swim only in designated areas. Christy?
Okay, very good advice there.
You don't mess with a gator's woman. You just don't.
Yeah,
that's the story. That's the moral of the story.
Them are horny gators.
Horny gators.
And they're agitated.
Well, these people were on kayaks. I mean, they weren't swimming in the water. They were in kayaks. And the gator bit them that way. I mean, they weren't in the water. So the lady, I guess, was rowing. She had her elbow down. The gator comes up and bites her elbow. So I don't know if kayaks look like other gators coming to get their woman.
I mean, maybe. Well, or did the kayak make the lady leave? And so the male gator was mad.
Could be.
I mean, because we don't know. Was this the lady gator that bit the woman because the guy got scared and left?
Well, it could be. And so maybe a double attack because they bit the dude, too.
Exactly. Although she got bit in the elbow.
Well, you got to row.
Well, I understand that, right? But you got air life for an elbow?
Well, she was bleeding. The 911 operator's worried she's going to bleed out.
Well, I mean, it's her elbow.
Well,
put a Band-Aid on it. Let's go.
It depends on how much of the elbow was bitten off.
Well, it didn't. I mean,
dude,
there was enough of the arm left for them to put a sling, right? They didn't say that.
Well, she wouldn't let him. That's what she said. They won't let us put anything on her elbow because it hurts.
Well, yeah. But at what point does it hurt enough to where you're just in kind of shock and do what you need to do?
Well, or you bleed to death, one of the two.
Is there an artery in your elbow?
Yes, there is.
In your elbow?
Well,
close.
Well, it depends. If you bit the elbow off and got into the meat part.
Well, I mean, I understand Pledge is trying to diagram like he's a doctor. I mean, your elbow, I mean, at what point? I mean, she's not squirting blood out.
We don't know that.
Well, you're right. She's got an arm. But that felt like it should be from Louisiana, although Florida is close second, and it was Florida.
Dude, I'm telling you, I wouldn't go in the water anywhere in Florida. There's gators all over the place. I was watching that golf tournament last weekend. They're shooing gators off the golf course.
Yeah, they're not. You don't have to be afraid.
Really?
You got a club in your hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you go in the ocean in Florida?
Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah, you would. You'd have to pee at some point if you're on the beach.
I only go in where I can sit. It doesn't have to be that deep.
You sit to pee while you're in the ocean?
Yes.
Good Lord.
That way I don't have to go out too far. Dude, I've got no problem with my manhood, but when you've had a few beers, you got to pee. I don't want to venture out too far. You know, it's funny. The older you get, the more chicken you, at least me, become about that. When I was a kid, I'm out in the water way the hell out there.
Yeah,
didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get in, you get out. Bada bing.
Mm-hmm. How much did Wemby's jersey go for the other day? $73,000?
Yeah.
Give or take?
Uh-huh.
Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, their first game-worn NBA jerseys are going to auction. Sotheby's has it. And they're expected, and they're being sold separately, to fetch $20 million.
I believe it. I mean, that's a lot of money, and I don't know who collects that and has that kind of money to pay for a jersey. But
not me.
We're talking about the best player to ever play in the NBA, for goodness sake, and that is Michael Jordan. Second best player, Kobe Bryant. So, I mean, there you go. It's understandable.
I know they do all kinds of things to validate, verify. But don't you kind of wonder, how have they not been sold yet? Or have they been sold and they're getting resold now for a profit?
Or somebody's just had them and held on to them and now just wants to sell them. I mean, if you're going to make $40 million, I'd sell them. Love you, Mike. Love you, Kobe. But
$40 million. And now is apparently the time to do that. Kind of crazy. So you remember not that long ago, there was that story about Justin Timberlake getting arrested for a DWI in New York?
I do remember that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he had that was his show. I thought that's when he had the small wiener.
Well, he always has that because that doesn't change. But he was driving in the Hamptons last year, got arrested for a DWI. The cop that did that turned out to be 24-year-old Michael Arkinson. He was a rookie cop, and he arrested Justin Timberlake. And guess what? He was announced as the Officer of the Year for making an immediate impact during his first year on the job.
An immediate impact. Now, here's my question when I see this story. Did this guy know who Justin Timberlake was when he pulled him over? I'm saying probably not.
Well,
where some other more experienced cop would have said, that's Justin Timberlake, we'll let him go.
I think it could be a little bit of both. I mean, everybody knows who JT is, and if you don't, you look at his driver's license. Are you? And no,
I don't know if 24-year-olds do they?
I mean, sure. I mean, but even then, if you're Justin Timberlake, aren't you saying, do you know who I am? And being a rookie cop, knowing that everything that he's doing is on video, he wasn't going to let somebody slide. A more veteran cop, maybe.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, quite honestly, more veteran cop would have said, where are you going? Let's drive you home safely.
Exactly right.
Which I think everybody at SAPD, you pull over a spur, you just drive them home and tuck them in the bed.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, that's what they should do.
That's what they should do, huh?
They should.
Well, they should do that for radio guys, too.
They should. Yes. Pledge, you all right? Pledge?
I don't know, Pledge.
We're doing a radio show here. You can't do that and then not say anything. What the hell's going on, sir?
I just sent you some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
All right.
It must be good.
Did you send it by way of pigeon? What'd you do?
In your DMs.
Whoa. How about that?
The Houston Texans pulling off a big trade. They're finalizing a trade to get wide receiver Christian Kirk from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
How about that? Well,
Pledge over there on the side about to have an orgasm, and now I understand why.
Well, I want to see the trade on this. There's no details yet, but they're finalizing. This comes from Diana Rossini, by the way. So interesting. Well, I think that's a great move for Houston.
Well, it depends on which Christian Kirk shows up.
Well, that's a good point, too. But I think I was about to say, he's going to a better quarterback, better situation.
Better situation.
For sure.
For sure. Depends on what Nick Caserio is going to give up for this. John McClain will be on with us at 5:15 today, so certainly we'll have more details there. But Houston Texans getting busy, getting a wide receiver not named DK Metcalf.
Well,
and it won't cost him near as much as DK.
Exactly. I mean, I can see this. I don't know what his contract situation is, but you remember Christian Kirk was the guy that kind of started the he got paid $50 million, I think, on a deal.
Never lived up to it.
Yeah, but we're like $50 million. That was outrageous for a guy like that. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see what the details are in this whole trade once it comes about. So, but good for Houston.
Yeah, let's talk more about it coming up here on The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, let me talk about Stevens Roofing because, well, they're always a bargain. And when I say that, they do great work. You get what you pay for. You always do with Stevens Roofing. And look, you see the clock, right? It's March. you know spring is around the corner, and with spring, we get those thunderstorms. It happens every year. It's going to happen again this year with the hail, with the wind, with the rain, all of that kind of stuff. You want to make sure that your roof is up to the task. Here's what you need to do. You need to call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. You can also visit them online at stevensroofing.net. Have them come out and do a free roof inspection. They will come out, they will inspect your roof, make sure that everything is okay. And if everything's okay, they'll walk away and tell you to have a nice day. If not, they'll tell you what's wrong, and, well, you can work it out with them, but you know they will do a great job and take care of you. They're a family-owned business. They've been in business for a long time. They do things right, and I know they do things right because, well, they've been in business for so long. And you don't stay in business long if you're not doing it right. Stevens Roofing is the absolute best in the business. So don't let this Texas weather catch you off guard. You know what's coming. Call Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Stevens Roofing, protecting Texas families one roof at a time. That phone number again, 210-785-0994.
Ready for the ultimate sports fan getaway? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is headed to Vegas, and we're bringing you along. Why? Because watching the games from your couch in sweatpants just isn't the same. Join Jason and Joe from the Blitz for a Mega March weekend you'll never forget or possibly remember. We're talking Vegas here. March 27th through the 30th, we're hitting up Circa Las Vegas for opening day. And the second weekend of the tournament, a.k.a. Sports Heaven, baby. Thursday, March 27th, the party starts with baseball's opening day at the world's largest sports book. That's right, big screens, big games, and big opinions from Jason and Joe. It's basically like watching sports at home, but with no chores and way more pools. Speaking of pools, dive into 6 of them at Stadium Swim and catch all the action on a 143-foot screen. Lock in now. Go to CircaLasVegas.com. Use promo code BLITZ and party with Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino. Sports, pools, Vegas. What could possibly go wrong?
For decades, Rudy's has been serving Texans incredible barbecue. But they've also been a community champion as well. And now when you visit any of their 4 San Antonio locations, just make a $10 donation to the Puppy Food Bank. And you'll receive a certificate valid for $15 in free barbecue and 2 soft drinks. So do the numbers. That's a $22 value for just $10. You'll enjoy great barbecue for less, and Puppy Food Bank can save more pet lives. Thank you, Rudy's.
Davis Law Firm secures important verdicts and settlements for Texans hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck. Many in the millions of dollars. No case is too big or too small. And remember, there's no fee unless we win. So if you want more, call the Fours. Davis Law Firm San Antonio, 444-4444.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Methodist Care Now Urgent Care has 18 locations throughout San Antonio, open 7 days a week. From injuries and illnesses to school and sports physicals, Care Now Urgent Care is here to help you feel better fast. Find a location near you at carenow.com and use our convenient web check-in today.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. That's exactly what I did. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home evaluation. That's Orchard.com.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, along with Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on a Thursday afternoon, which means tomorrow at this time we're going to be sitting at Mellow Mushroom there in Stone Oak.
With a full stomach.
Yes.
Guarantee you that.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to get out there for lunch.
And you can go have lunch, early dinner, late lunch, happy hour, whatever. Just come hang out with us tomorrow at Mellow Mushroom from 2 to 6. So, Christian Kirk, trades within the division are always fun, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Goes from Jacksonville to the Texans. One of those deals where they'd already said they were going to release him. Nick Caserio said, I don't want competition. Here's a 7th-round pick next year. You can only hope if you're C.J. Stroud and the Texans that your new slot receiver can stay healthy, right? I mean, and they're going to have to redo his deal or give him some sort of new deal. The idea of Cooper Kupp landing in Houston, I know a lot of people were kind of thinking that was a possibility, although maybe a long shot. Christian Kirk would be great, or is great, if he's healthy.
If he's healthy. Look, this is a great deal for Houston. I mean, a 7th-round draft pick next year. They get to negotiate a new contract with Christian Kirk, who was owed $16.5 million, according to Spotrac. That was non-guaranteed, although it is going to still cost Jacksonville dead cap money of $10.5 million.
You think about the former Aggie after he signed that big deal with Jacksonville. He had a pretty decent 2022 season. In 23, he only played in 12 games, had 57 catches for 787 yards, 3 touchdowns. Last year, he only played in 8 games. Had 27 catches on 47 targets, not even 400 yards, 1 touchdown. And granted, 8 games. I know Trevor got hurt. He had Mac Jones. It's been bad. But the last 2 years, he certainly hasn't justified the salary, and you understand why Jacksonville is moving on. And they got a 7th in next year's draft, and that was a Rams pick that they picked up. So, solid move for Nick Caserio. I would say you would define this as
we're going to be selectively aggressive.
And that's exactly what it is. I know. I mean, the idea of a DK or even a Cooper Kupp, but if healthy, it's a nice pickup. And for a guy that, again, played for the Aggies, get back to the state of Texas.
Yeah, he'll be welcome there. There's no doubt. But that just goes to show you, too, when you're talking about this, and I know Debo's a little bit different because they had to take on some salary as well. But there are some guys out there. There's trades to be made that aren't going to break the bank. I mean, this for Houston, it's nothing. Whatever they negotiate with Christian Kirk, which, by all intents and purposes, he certainly hasn't earned a huge contract. So that shouldn't cost the Texans much at all. So there are trades out there to be made. You just gotta look for them.
It's a good move. I know Pledge was saying during the break, it just reminds him of what they did last year to get Joe Mixon, right before he was going to get cut. If you're the other team, in this case Jacksonville, you're getting something in return. And what, a 7th-round pick? Even if Christian Kirk gets cut, doesn't even make the team, what does it cost you?
Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything. 7th-round pick next year, as a matter of fact. So, and that can all be redone. I mean, the Texans can make another trade. Who knows if they want that pick back? There's a lot of water to cross before that happens. So, now that's a good move, and it's a good shot to take for the Houston Texans needing a second wide receiver. A good move for them. Successful day for the Houston Texans.
I wish I could say it was a successful day for the United Football League. I don't really know, because there's some interesting stories coming out of the UFL about a player strike. Now, they're having their media days today and tomorrow, but they're all up in Arlington. So it's a lot of photo shoots, the intros that you'll see on the TV and in-stadium stuff. A lot of that stuff is happening. By all accounts, all the Brahmas did their part this morning, including quarterback Kellen Mond, who will be on the Blitz tomorrow at 3:35.
Yes, he will.
Kellen will be on with us tomorrow, and we'll figure out what some of this is. But there's an ESPN article that says that at least 3 players have said that Daryl Moose Johnston, who's the boss man, has threatened to cut these guys if they don't show up for work, because apparently there was a lot of talk that UFL players would boycott the media days, and I guess Daryl isn't having that, although that does break a lot of rules when it comes to negotiating.
Yeah, but according to the story, I mean, it's all hearsay, because these players claim they heard it from their coaches and then found out later it came from Johnston. So, look, there's a lot of hearsay. And the UFL obviously is coming back saying, look, that's not our policy to do that. And it's not. But it is a labor negotiation that could get kind of sticky. These guys want more money. UFL's just going into a second season. I mean, you got to understand, and I'm all for everybody, and guys want money, but you need the league to survive first and get financially stable before you can start demanding more money. And it's a sticky situation, to say the least.
And again, for all these guys that are trying to get to the league, you need an opportunity, and striking or having your other player strike doesn't really help. If you're just hanging on and playing football because you don't want to get a real job 365, all right, cool. You're trying to make as much money as you can if you feel like this is as high as you're going to go. But you also have to understand the finances. The league, and we know this, Daryl Johnston has talked about this on this show, the league is financially sound, and they want to grow. But as they grow and they generate more revenue, one of the things they want to do eventually is get out of having a hub city and have every team be able to practice and live in the communities they represent, as opposed to just showing up on home game days. And they're not there yet. And the importance of a media day, they've got it booked. Every team, the Brahmas did their part today. 4 or 5 teams doing it today, and the other half doing it tomorrow. But they've got all these production crews and this big production there. And so they've hired all these production guys to come in, set everything up, and get all of that done. And if players don't show up, you still got to pay all those guys for showing up. They don't want to have to pay them twice and try to do it later. So that's why the importance of these media days are there. If you go to the Brahmas social media pages and you see what San Antonio did today, you could tell this was high-dollar production stuff. So
absolutely.
That's why it was so important, not so they can go do interviews, but it was everything else that is going on as far as media days go.
Well, hopefully this all gets resolved and everything will be just fine. But again, it's same thing that happens in every league, right? I mean, the players perceive the management types as making all kinds of money, and we're not making anything, and we need to make more money, and the list goes on and on and on. And so hopefully this all gets worked out. But again, guys, this league's in its second year. and they're all living in Dallas for a reason. Save money.
Yeah, it's more cost-effective that way. I mean, most people don't realize, and quite frankly, why would you even give a damn? But, they're renting all those different facilities up there and catering companies to feed the guys, but even just bus transportation, all the buses they have. By doing it in one city, they're working with one vendor, and that keeps the cost different. When we had the Commanders here, you see some of the numbers internally from, what they spent in San Antonio versus what was spent in Birmingham versus what was spent in Orlando, and they realize it's all over the place. And to get a handle on it from a league standpoint, because everything is owned by the league, putting them in one spot worked. It worked for the USFL when they were in Birmingham, and it's working for the UFL there in Arlington. So, I don't know how much extra cash they have to pay all these guys, but I think once we start seeing the Brahmas, I don't know, having part of their training camp or all of their training camp in San Antonio and practicing here, and that's when the league's really at a good financial spot.
Well, want to hear from both sides, right? And we will. And Kellen Mond, again, is going to join us here tomorrow at 3:35. So we'll talk to Kellen about all things San Antonio Brahmas.
One thing that Joe Reinagel has been saying for a long time, the next head coach of the San Antonio Spurs will be Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr with some interesting comments last night about his future in Golden State. We're going to connect dots that may or may not be there. Coming up on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know me, I love going to the Roo Pub, my home away from home there at 281 in Redland Road, because there's no better place to watch any big game, any big fight than at the Roo, with those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around. And the food is fantastic. They do that steak night now every Wednesday night. Put that on your calendar and don't miss Wednesday night steak night. They got the biggest and best wings in town. I love the fried shrimp. The burgers on the menu, including the original Wemby burger. Great appetizers. Pledge tells me the salads there are wonderful. And St. Patrick's Day, the parties there at the Roo Pub for St. Patty's Day, legendary. And this year it's going to be a 2-day event. Sunday, March 16th, a crawfish boil. All you can eat, $10, 2 until they run out. $10, all you can eat. They'll also have live music on a Sunday afternoon. Then on St. Patrick's Day, Monday, not only will the Blitz be broadcasting live from the Roo, the Green Bear is going to be flowing with live music starting at 2 with Irish Goodbye. Finding Friday takes the stage at 5. Then at night, they're going to have DJs both inside the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant. So you want to do St. Patrick's Day right. Plan now. Take the day off, Monday, March 17th, and hang out with us at the Roo Pub. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night. The best place to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we made it. Conference tournament time is here. We'll get you ready for all the big games.
And the Spurs back in action on Friday night. We'll preview what's going on with them and the rest of the weekend. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Rock's Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rock's the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rock's has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rock's know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist, with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Looking for a place where strangers become friends over great drinks and food? Welcome to The Hangar, Petrenko, your go-to spot for mouth-watering wings, ice-cold cocktails, and an unforgettable atmosphere. Come taste some of the best wings in town, served by their friendly staff with even friendlier cocktails. With 20 big-screen TVs for all your sports needs and a gorgeous patio to enjoy the great weather, The Hangar Petrenko has got you covered. Don't miss the official after-party for the San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Tournament Monday, April 14th, only at Hangar Petrenko, where great food, drinks, and friends come together. Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Ready for the ultimate sports fan getaway? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is headed to Vegas, and we're bringing you along. Why? Because watching the games from your couch in sweatpants just isn't the same. Join Jason and Joe from the Blitz for a mega March weekend you'll never forget or possibly remember. We're talking Vegas here. March 27th through the 30th, we're hitting up Circa Las Vegas for opening day. And the second weekend of the tournament, a.k.a. Sports Heaven, baby. Thursday, March 27th, the party starts with baseball's opening day at the world's largest sports book. That's right, big screens, big games, and big opinions from Jason and Joe. It's basically like watching sports at home, but with no chores and way more pools. Speaking of pools, dive into 6 of them at Stadium Swim and catch all the action on a 143-foot screen. Lock in now. Go to CircaLasVegas.com. Use promo code BLITZ and party with Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino. Sports, pools, Vegas. What could possibly go wrong?
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Live tomorrow, we're going to be at the Mellow Mushroom there in Stone Oak, 2 to 6. Pizzas, calzone, half-price happy hour.
Yeah, come hang out with us. Have a good time. Start your weekend at the Mellow Mushroom.
That's going to be tomorrow. A lot of conversation And this is good conversation when you're enjoying half-price happy hour.
Yes.
And obviously with what's going on with Greg Popovich, a lot more real than maybe in years past. I know we've always debated who's going to replace Pop, but that might actually happen this offseason, depending on how things are going, and maybe it should happen this offseason. And we always kind of look at who has ties to the organization, who from the Pop tree is going to come back and take over the job when Pop is no longer the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. A lot of people are immediately going to point to a Becky Hammond. You got a Coach Bud. You got so many that you could look at. And Joe Reinagle, for as long as I've known him, well, not really as long as I've known him, I would say for as long as he has been a part of this program, which is a little more than 3 years now, he's always said Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr on a radio show yesterday in San Francisco, because in places not named San Antonio, head coaches actually go on local radio programs and do regular interviews.
Who knew?
It does happen in every market except here. So Steve Kerr was on the radio station, I believe this was KNBR in San Francisco. Now, granted, the question was set up about Steph Curry's future, and are you tying your future with the organization with Curry's?
Oh, probably. I think every coaching job has an expiration date, and I think it's important for all parties involved to be aware of that. And so there's probably something to that, but I don't spend much time thinking about that. I love what I do. I love this team. I love coaching these guys every day, and I'm just going to keep plugging away with them and see what we can accomplish, and then we'll worry about all that stuff later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the fact every coaching job has an expiration date. And my theory is that, look, Steph Curry is coming to the end of his career. The Warriors are getting long in the tooth. They're playing well. They've got a real shot in the playoffs this year since they've added Jimmy Butler. I just think it's a no-brainer. And to get a guy, you've got Victor Wembanyama, you've got De'Aaron Fox, you've got Steph Castle. You've got these players that you can build a winner here. And I think that would be very attractive to a guy named Steve Kerr. He played here. He and Pop are tight. And I just think it makes so much sense to have Steve Kerr slide in to Greg Popovich's seat and take over a team that could mold itself into a winner very quickly.
You think about what is best for Wemby and the organization moving forward. Now, obviously, Steve played here. He and Pop have a great relationship, the Team USA connections. I do wonder and worry if Steve Kerr wants to coach for his entire life. I mean, he's 59 years old. Watching that documentary on Netflix about the summer games, as much as he loves coaching and teaching, you almost wonder how much it wears on him. I mean, you think about all the championships he has won as a coach, 4 of them there with Golden State, 5 championships as a player, all the rings, but the time that it takes and the effort that is there. And there are times that you see him in that documentary, and quite frankly, times that you hear him doing media sessions now, and you just wonder, how tired is he? His back issues. Does he want to do this? But if he does, and while Greg Popovich always said he was walking out the door with Timmy, very similar thing.
Exactly.
All right, I'm walking out the door with Timmy, and Kerr, I'm walking out the door with Steph. Will he actually do it? But that is something that you have been on for years, Steve Kerr being the next. I do wonder, though, you hear that, is he thinking about life after Golden State? Steve Kerr is so smart and so media savvy. He could have said that in so many other ways.
Yeah.
But to actually say every coaching job has an expiration date.
Look, this to me would be for the San Antonio franchise a dream come true. If you've got to replace one Hall of Famer, you do it with another one who is very same-minded in a lot of ways that they think when it comes to coaching basketball and other things. But I just think a Steve Kerr would, and for him to come in. I mean, if you're at a place like Golden State and you've developed a dynasty there, right, and coached that, and you've won championships there, you come to a team like San Antonio who's got some young stars and a team that is on the rise and on the build. And I just think that would excite Steve to come here and be able to coach, especially coach a talent like Victor Wembanyama, who's only 21 years old. And you talk about developing a guy like that and building a team around him. I think that would be attractive to a guy like Steve Kerr.
What do you guys think? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 on Twitter, at Joe Reinagle 210. You can tweet at me, at Jason Minix, the station, at SA Sports Star. Although I got to be honest, tweet us individually because we don't see the alerts on SA Sports Star. And if not Steve Kerr, who's at the top of your list to be the next if Greg Popovich isn't coaching this team next year? Are you looking at guys that have been here before on the staff, like a Coach Bud who could get fired in Phoenix? Has he done enough? I've heard other people talk about Avery Johnson, or do you think more along the college lines, Bill Self, the Jay Wrights, the Hurleys? Hurley turned down the Lakers. Now that they got Luka, do you think he regrets that? But, I mean, you go to an organization that is similarly run, like in San Antonio, for Hurley, this seems like it might be a better fit from a culture aspect.
Well, it could be. Hurley, though, I think is one of those guys. I don't know if he works in the NBA. And I say that because he's one of those hard-nosed kind of coaches that it's his way or the highway. And I know Pop used to be that way, but even he's had to evolve over the years. Steve Kerr is one of those guys that I think automatically commands respect. And guys like him, and he just treats them – he knows how to treat NBA players. And I mean that in just a family way. He's much like Greg Popovich in that respect. And I just think, to me, it would be the ideal scenario to have a Steve Kerr be the head coach of the Spurs.
One of the things that you really probably already know about Steve Kerr, but it's reinforced in this documentary, he is a great teacher of the game and a great communicator with personalities. And think about the personalities that he's dealt with the Warriors, from a Draymond Green to a Curry to Klay Thompson to Kevin Durant, but then also to have Kevin Durant initially coming off the bench and telling a guy like Kevin Durant, dude, you're not starting in the Olympics, right? Kevin Durant might be the greatest Olympian that we've ever had in Team USA basketball, or, young stars. He certainly understands how to deal with that. And with Wemby being an international superstar, you got a young star like De'Aaron Fox. Hopefully we go get another one, whether it's through draft, trade, whatever the case is. But he's a great teacher of basketball. Could he come back? Is it Becky Hammon? I know a lot of people love the idea of Becky Hammon taking over and becoming the head coach. And this team is in a better position now than a couple years ago when a lot of people were wondering, because I didn't wonder a couple years ago if Pop was going to retire, because we've had this conversation every year for the last 5. Is Pop going to do this? I didn't want Becky Hammon for that job if the Spurs were going to suck, because they were going to suck, and then we would all blame Becky and she would get fired.
Yeah.
Now, situation's different.
It is. It is different. And just think about Steve Kerr for a minute. The guy's been successful in everything he's done.
Yeah.
He went to TV. He was a success. He was a general manager. Success. He as a player. Success. I mean, the guy he's a winner. There's no doubt.
210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Brandon, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Hey, Steve Kerr is staying in Golden State. There's after all the accolades he's accomplished, everything he's done along his career, he's going to close it up in Golden State with Curry and Draymond. They're definitely chasing their glory, their last championship trophy, and that doesn't pan out. He's done.
Part of me wants to agree with you, but part of me also remembers Phil Jackson ending up with the Knicks, right? When everybody thought, man, after the Lakers, I'm done. Because coaches like to coach. and he's 59 years old. In reality, he's got another 10, 12, 15 years he could do this if he chose to do it.
We were told, and so many times, and I know you already told this story, but Greg Popovich, I'm riding out of here with Tim Duncan. It's when Timmy leaves, I'm leaving. And guess what? Greg Popovich would still be on the sidelines now, if not for a very tragic event. So I don't know that. I think coaching is in their blood, and I don't know what else would Steve Kerr do. He's 59. He's not going to just sit at home all day.
He's going back to television.
Well, and why? Well, he could do that, and he'd be very good at it. Look, I'm just saying, I think Steve Kerr is the perfect fit for San Antonio. And Golden State's Jimmy Butler has given them a shot of adrenaline. There's no doubt. So now they're back in the mix for another championship run, and I think they're going to be a tough out for anybody in the West. But I just think that ride is ending, and I just think Steve Kerr, another challenge. Maybe it doesn't happen right away. Maybe the Spurs go elsewhere, and maybe it doesn't happen at all. That's very possible, Brandon, and to your point. But I just believe that this is the perfect opportunity to get a guy in there, and you don't lose a beat. And, in fact, you inject the adrenaline here in San Antonio with a hire like that.
Hey, Derek, you're on the Blitz. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, how about the recently fired Mark Jackson? He was with the Golden State Warriors in their heyday before he got let go for Kerr. He's got a lot of animosity, a lot to prove, and with the Spurs, he's still got an offensive mindset, so I think he'd be a good fit for us.
You know,
Mark Jackson, I didn't even think about him.
Well, and again, I mean, he would go into that outside the box, not part of the family tree. And Mark was good on television, but I always felt bad when he had to go up there and broadcast Golden State games because he helped put that thing together.
Yeah.
And didn't get to enjoy any of the fruits of that labor.
Look, let me tell you something. If this is Pop's last stand, this job is going to be so attractive to so many people. I mean, there are going to be people lining up for this job. So I just think that if you're going to have your pick of the crop, and if Steve Kerr is willing to take it on, I just think it's a no-brainer in that respect. I just do. He's a winner. He's won everywhere he's been and been successful everywhere he's been, and I just think that's a no-brainer. If it doesn't pan out, so be it. I'll be disappointed, but I just think he is the guy for the job, and if the Spurs can somehow pull that off, man, that would be ideal.
And I think listen carefully to exactly how he said it. Play that again, Pledge, just the beginning part.
Oh, probably. You know, I mean, I think every coaching job has an expiration date, and I think it's important for, all parties involved to be aware of that.
It almost sounds like management and Steve Kerr have already had the conversation.
And he didn't say coaching career. He said coaching job has an expiration date. So, look, Steve Kerr, if he was 70 years old, I might agree with Brandon. And Brandon could very well be right. But the guy's 59 years old. I mean, he's going to do something. He's way too young to retire. He's going to do something. His kids are grown. And I just don't think Steve Kerr is ready to ride off into the sunset and do nothing.
I'm not sure how much he loves golf.
I'm not sure either. He's got a bad back.
Yeah.
Steph Curry likes golf.
Yeah.
He's pretty damn good at it.
Yeah. Is he going to come coach the Spurs?
Steph Curry?
No.
Curry's going on tour, man, when he's done.
He'll be in the TGL.
It probably will be.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast. You know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service, They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
10-yard line, touchdown Vegas, what a wild finish!
Your home for the NFL.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sports book, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com. And join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the A to Z savings event at AutoZone.
Yeah, happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with the rotors.
Free. Really?
Really, free.
Okay, I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah, how much is that?
Free with 5 quarts of oil.
Free? Really?
Really, free. It's part of the A to Z savings event.
You might as well call it A to free.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Rock's Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rox, the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rox has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rox know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit roxdiscountvitamins.com.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs guard De'Aaron Fox told The Athletic that he would eventually require surgery on the dislocated pinky finger on his left hand, and that he's spoken with general manager Brian Wright about it. course, Fox will be making his first trip to Sacramento to face his former team after playing their 8 years with the Kings. Spurs are there tomorrow night. Cleveland Browns restructured Deshaun Watson's deal. They free up $36 million in cap space.
This SportsCenter update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on Twitter, at Joe Reinagel 210. Tweet at me at Jason Minix, the station at SA Sports Star. Same for Instagram. Comments on our YouTube page. Lots of comments about the future coach of the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, no doubt. And everybody's going to have a wish list or person that they want. It's going to be interesting to see because, look, I don't think Pop's coming back. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think that he is. So they're going to have to do something. And with all due respect to Mitch Johnson, I just don't think he's ready yet.
Oh, he's not.
So,
no.
I think this team needs a veteran coach. Now, Tom Guerrero says Eric Spoelstra. Well, that would be great too, and maybe same along the lines as a Steve Kerr. Maybe they are out of reach. I don't know. I just feel like, and I know Steve Kerr when he loves San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
He loves this city. I know that for a fact. So, I just think it's a no-brainer, and I'm hopeful that happens.
I don't think that's as far-fetched as some of our listeners do.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is the organization and the city. That said, I don't know what his desire is. And does he leave Golden State and immediately take a job, or does he take a year off and miss basketball enough to want to come back? And, will the timelines match up? Because if May, June, the Spurs are announcing they're looking for a new coach, or maybe it goes into July, but I'd like to think before the draft, the Spurs as an organization are going to make a decision on Greg Popovich, whether Pop makes the decision or the organization makes the decision for Pop. I would think before the draft and free agency, if he's not going to be the coach, and it doesn't look like he can be the coach next year, then they're going to have to make that hire. If Kerr is still, I'm staying with Steph until Steph is done, then the timeline might not match up.
Sure.
So a lot of things have to fall in place, and timing is one of them. Now, there's one, and Claymore, great listener, longtime listener, calls, comments a lot. I generally respect everything that this guy says. I think he's very smart, although this comment isn't. Claymore writes on YouTube, Becky got multiple championships at the Aces in the WNBA. I would be surprised if she leaves. Pay alone in the NBA is far greater than the WNBA, although I know she's killing it there. But we also know Becky well enough. She has a goal of getting back and coaching in the NBA.
And it would make history.
It would make history.
Right? It would. So, no, I think if Becky was offered a job in the NBA, she would leave Las Vegas in a heartbeat just because that's her ambition. I mean, she wants to do that. So I think if she got that opportunity, she would jump on it. And, again, no disrespect to Becky Hammon. I think she's great. I do. I just think this team needs a veteran head coach, not a college coach, a coach that's coached in the NBA. And, again, if it was me, and maybe the timing was thrown off. I contend this could have been the plan all along. Pop's going to coach a couple more years. Steve can finish up there in Golden State with Steph Curry and just ride over here and slip right in. So maybe the timing of all of this changes that plan a little bit. But I just think it would be, to me, a no-brainer for Steve Kerr to slide into Pop's seat here.
Hector Blanco on YouTube says, what about Monty Williams? I mean, the dude is coaching here in San Antonio right now over at TMI.
That would be great as well.
I mean, and again, but you look at Monty and Coach Bud, I think two guys that you would immediately say from the tree that you would look at, maybe Borrego falls in here to a degree. But if they've been successful enough, Mike Brown, in other places, to come back and have the confidence that, yeah, you understand San Antonio and you were great as an assistant here under Pop, but on your own, I know Coach Bud has won a championship, but he's got an all-star team in Phoenix, and they're in danger of not making the playoffs, and he's about to get fired.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. Bud, I always thought would be that number one guy too, or certainly high on the list, and maybe he will be. But Mike Brown, I love Mike Brown. Had a great relationship with Mike Brown when he was here. But the guy just has not been successful much anywhere. And he's got a lot of money to prove it.
Yeah, exactly.
That he didn't have to necessarily work for.
Same with Monty.
Yeah.
I mean, we all remember Detroit, although he would like to forget.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why he's now at TMI. You go from there. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Paul, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
How y'all doing, guys?
Good.
Good.
One thing that hasn't been mentioned is I think there needs to have Spurs ties, because that was Wemby's attitude toward the Spurs. He loves the Spurs way. And if you move away from that, what's the reason to keep him here?
Well, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, you got to go not somebody that worked here, who's the best guy for the job that's available. And for Wemby, he always wanted to be a part of the Spurs. He is a part of the Spurs. But while I'm thinking Spurs ties, and we all are, and Greg Popovich has a massive forest out there of guys that are connected to him, I don't know that you just limit yourself to that. But I do think Wemby being involved is there. But it's not like, hey, who is that guy that brought you up at that club in France? You want that guy to coach you in the NBA? I don't know that you're going that route too, but you're going to bring in somebody that can get the most out of Wemby and the collection of talent that is around him. Eddie, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man? You guys have a great show. Been listening for years as always, but no disrespect to Steve Kerr, and I love all the memories that I'm going to be able to take as a Spurs fan that Pop has been part of and providing. But quite honestly, my opinion, I'm ready to move away from all that philosophy. I don't want Steve Kerr. I don't want anybody part of the tree, quite honestly, because you know what? I mean, it's been great for us in the past with Tim Duncan, but it's just time to move away from the whole I'm smarter than you philosophy, the smartest person in the room philosophy. Let's get somebody in here with a whole fresh perspective. A veteran coach, that I agree with Joe. College veteran, NBA veteran. There's a lot of people that are qualified, experienced. Doesn't have to be in our tree. Rick Carlisle, Jay Wright, Jason Kidd. I mean, I'm just giving examples. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be from our tree. And honestly, I'm just ready for a change altogether, quite honestly.
So you want to get rid of Brian Wright, the GM, and R.C. Buford, and just everybody?
It's what the thing is. It's worked wonderful for the past 3 decades. However, this new NBA and even the new Spurs and with Wemby, it's not the same. Obviously, they're not operating the same. There's a disconnect somewhere. I don't know if it's a disconnect between the ownership, the front office, the players. Something isn't clicking right, and you pop in the Victor connection with everything that's gone on. It's not there. It's unfortunate, but it hasn't worked, and you might as well let's just go in a different direction because this isn't working. Sorry, guys. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And look, I mean, I go for the best guy, whether you've got a connection or not. But you also have to go with somebody that can get this team back into the playoffs. We are so spoiled as Spurs fans. You heard Eddie, 3 decades, right?
Yes.
But we're at the time now. There was a time in San Antonio. Let's go back when we won championships.
Do I need Kleenex for this?
We might.
Okay.
And a calculator. The Spurs went 7 years between titles with the same core, the big three and Matt Bonner and the head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, most teams don't stay together 7 years, yet that group went 7 years between titles. Got to the finals in 13. We all know what happened. Got back there, won it in 14. They were in the Western Conference Finals in 12. But from 07 to 14, that was 7 years without a title. We're going on 7 years without a playoff appearance.
That's it.
Right?
And again,
any other city, everybody gets fired.
Of course they do. Of course they do. Look, people here have a different relationship with the Spurs than most cities have with their team. I'm convinced of that because you love anybody that puts a Spurs uniform on. We see it all the time here. Oh, this guy's great. They can never get rid of this guy or that, whatever the case may be.
Except for that Primo.
Well, when he kind of got himself kicked out of here. That was
not kind of.
Which was a really weird draft pick anyway. Look, I just think a guy like a proven leader, and I understand what you're saying, Eddie. I do. And Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich are a lot alike. But I think Kerr's personality is a little bit different than Greg Popovich's personality. And that's no disrespect to either guy, but Steve Kerr's more of a laid-back, easygoing kind of guy that is a really a player's coach. I mean, he is, but he commands the respect. And I just think it'd be a perfect fit here. I just think this team would rise. He's successful everywhere he's been, everything he's done, and I think that wouldn't change here. And I think a guy like Wemby, for the last caller that was concerned about that, you got a guy like Steve Kerr in here. I don't think that really changes much at all from Greg Popovich to a Steve Kerr because, I mean, they've got a lot of the same philosophy.
The respect level is there, and you might have to steal a little bit of a page out of Jerry Jones's playbook back in the day. Remember when he hired Bill Parcells, part of that was to get a new building approved.
That's right.
Adding a bunch of excitement to the organization. And guess what they're doing? They got to build a new building. They're trying to get the Wemby Center done. Does Coach Bud give you that excitement? But a Steve Kerr would.
Absolutely would.
I'm looking, some of the comments. Matt says Dan Hurley would be great. Roll says Coach Bud. Raymond says LeBron James as a player coach.
Yeah.
Stop.
Okay.
Etery Messina. So are we at the point now we're just throwing out names that we know or names that you think could actually work? Javier, you're on the Blitz. Who do you want to see coaching the Spurs?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, my comment to the last caller is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's been working. He's right is the reason why we have Wemby, all those draft picks, all that cash collateral. So that to me, it's not broken. Keep going with that. My question, I know you're discussing head coaches, but I'm just really curious because I see a lot of unofficial coaching, I guess, going on the sidelines with Chris Paul. And I'm wondering now that he's 40, maybe it's soon 41, I guess, if you guys know if any thought's been given to him as an assistant coach with the Spurs. And then the last thing I asked, one of the things that I've been concerned with all year and even last year is the shooting coach. I don't remember his name.
Chip England.
But to me, no.
Oh.
Isn't he the one who went to OKC?
Yeah.
Okay, no, his successor.
Oh, okay.
And he hasn't been very successful.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
He has. I really think we need a new shooting coach. And that's all. I'm out.
I appreciate
I
it.
appreciate
I thought
the
you were
call.
going back. What was that old guy's name? We need him back. Yeah, Chip England.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was great. Chip England was fantastic and doing a pretty good job there in OKC now as well.
He really is, and I think OKC is, a prime example of, as you're building up, change coaches along the way, and you've got the talent there. What are you going to do? Seeing some comments about like a Tony Parker,
Bill Self from Kansas,
Manu. I don't know if Manu maybe is the closest to a coach, but I don't know that he wants to coach. Especially with his kids being at the age. When we talked to Manu, when he was on the Blitz with us a couple of weeks ago, he loves being a part of the organization on his terms.
Yes. I mean, his boys they're growing up, but they still like having dad around. And look, coaching is a full-time deal, and you don't see your family very often while the season's going on. So I'm not sure that he's ready for that. Maybe when his kids are grown, maybe when they're off to college or whatever, then Manu might decide to do that. But look, I'm going to keep saying Steve Kerr until it's not Steve Kerr because I just think that's the perfect fit. But again, what concerns me a little bit is the timing of everything. The timeline may have gotten screwed up when it comes to the Spurs and the coaches and that kind of stuff. Obviously, no fault of anybody's, and it's. I'm glad Greg Popovich is okay, but I'm not sure that he's going to be okay enough to come back and coach, and that's a concern, which means the Spurs are going to have to pivot and find somebody.
So
210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. More of your calls as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, let me tell you about Cerebral and Cerebral.com. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about mental health, but sometimes you need somebody to talk to because as you're scrolling through social media, you can find yourself bombarded by bad news, worse comments, hot takes, people in their picture-perfect families, people with a humble professional update. Hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing, but imagine how you would feel if you spent 45 minutes focused on how you are doing. At Cerebral, they make it very easy for you to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication that is personalized to you. Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. In fact, 72% of people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. Got to make sure you make time for your mental health. Cerebral works with insurance plans, so whether you're looking for therapy, psychiatric care, maybe both, Cerebral can connect you with expert clinicians, all from the comfort of your home. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs. Just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important, and Cerebral is here to help you build a strong foundation for your overall well-being. Take the first step today. Go to Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral. Make time for Mind Time.
Welcome to The Hangar, Petrenko, your go-to spot for mouthwatering wings, ice-cold cocktails, and an unforgettable atmosphere. Come taste some of the best wings in town, served by their friendly staff with even friendlier cocktails. Only at Hangar Petrenko, where great food, drinks, and friends come together.
Hey, Rob Thompson here from my friends over at Prize Picks. The second half of the basketball season is here. The race to playoffs is on, and there's no better time to hit Prize Picks because the money, it's heating up. 1,000 times your cash, Taco Tuesdays, and the way they pay, let me tell you. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your accounts. There's no better way to get started with Prize Picks than right now as basketball season ends. And here's the best thing about Prize Picks is you can combine different leagues. You got a favorite in the pros, you got a favorite in the college, you can put them together to really maximize your bets. And remember the code Alamo. Remember, you download that when you sign up today. There's money to be had. No better place than Prize Picks right now. As the basketball season winds down, go for the place to get the best cash with your favorite sports. That's Prize Picks. You know what you're doing. Go play. In fact, go run your game.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Madame Giselle senses a change in your future.
Is it a promotion?
I see a door opening.
Ooh, to a corner office?
There's a creature. Beady eyes, lots of hair.
Is it my boss, Dave?
No, raccoons everywhere. Your RV door is open, and they're chewing everything.
Not a problem. I'm covered by Progressive. Do you see a bigger paycheck?
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Pest Damage Protection and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pest damage protection available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
Hey guys, want to be a hero? Get her a mommy makeover. $2,000 off this month. $1,000 off a tummy tuck. She gets her confidence back. You get the best thank you ever. Win-win, right? Call 210-494-8446 or go to findyourbeautiful.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal
personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. On YouTube, subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. A lot of comments there about who could be the next head coach of the San Antonio Spurs.
If it's not Greg Popovich, which...
Well, eventually it's not.
Eventually it's not.
And it might be sooner rather than later.
I'm afraid that's the case. But, yeah, I mean, it's time to start thinking about it. That's for sure.
Well, and in trying to have a real conversation, some of these, I don't know if you're just being smart-ass.
Yes. Like
Raymond says, Jeff Traylor.
Right.
But in reality, are you just throwing out names of guys that you know? Jackie Moon is available, but probably not going to get the job. What I see, like Claymore says, Steve Kerr, Mike Brown. Kerr makes sense.
Yeah.
Mike Brown, great dude, but is he a great coach? His history of getting fired says no. Quinn Snyder, Bill Self, because he has the connection to Kansas with RC and Pop. That's been talked about a lot. Jay Wright. Hurley, who turned down a lot of money to go to the Lakers, but would he turn down that money to go to the San Antonio Spurs? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Ricky, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going, Jason and Joe? Long-time listeners, love your show.
Appreciate you, man.
I have the perfect successor for Coach Pop.
All right.
Not a lot of people think about this name, but Eric Spoelstra. I mean, y'all got to remember that he's taken the Heat to the finals. Well, not him per se, but he's coached his Heat players to the finals a lot of times, and I'm pretty sure he wants a fresh new start, especially after the whole Jimmy Butler debacle this past year. And honestly, he gets the most out of his players. Obviously, you can see that with Bam Adebayo and Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, other players to name a few, but Eric Spoelstra is the perfect Spurs guy for your new head coach.
I can't disagree with that. I mean, that would be an outstanding hire. I'd love to have Eric Spoelstra. He's a brilliant coach.
Ricky, I think everything you said there is right, except for you think he wants out. I don't know that he wants out because I think he wanted to get rid of Jimmy Butler. He and Pat Riley and what they have built there in a very similar type of culture that San Antonio has. Check your ego at the door. If you don't want to be here, get the out, right? And that's what they did with Jimmy Butler. I think Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches in the NBA.
There's no question.
And so I think that would be right. And Ricky, about 9 people on YouTube have also said Spo. And if you're going to swing for the fences in your RC and Peter Holt, he would certainly be somebody that you would at least try to figure out, could you get if you're trying to get outside of the Spurs family. Was that his contract extension? Earlier this last year, he signed an 8-year, $120 million contract extension.
That kind of takes him off the books.
Well, it depends on what his buyout is. I mean, Dan Lanning at Oregon today signs a big contract. It's only a $20 million buyout. So I just don't know how much Eric Spoelstra wants out of Miami. Although let's go back to what Steve Kerr said, which kind of sparked the conversation today. Speaking on a radio show in San Francisco yesterday on KNBR, Steve Kerr said every coaching job has a shelf life.
Oh, probably. I think every coaching job has an expiration date. And I think it's important for, all parties involved to be aware of that.
So he says that, and you got to figure that he's had these conversations with the Golden State management group and he said the same thing Pop said for years. I'm leaving when Timmy's leaving. Well, Pop didn't, but will Steve Kerr leave?
Well, here's the deal, and I just looked this up because I didn't know it. We're talking about Spoelstra's contract. Kerr signed a 2-year deal, and the second year takes him through next season, 25-26. And that's what I'm worried about, the timing of all of this. If Pop is not back, because I could see that lining up perfectly. Pop this year, next year, Kerr comes in and takes right over. So, but the timing of everything is suspect now. So if he's got this 2-year deal, $35 million contract extension is what it was, takes him through 25-26. What would it take if that changed and we needed Steve Kerr immediately instead of a couple of years from now?
I think if Steve Kerr went to Golden State and said, I want to take the San Antonio job, they'd say, here you go.
Okay.
I really do think that could happen that way. Hey, Mark, you're on the Blitz.
Hey, guys, good show. Just wanted to throw Avery Johnson's name out there, see what y'all thought about that. If I remember right, I think Mavericks won in like 2010, 11, something like that. And I think Avery Johnson had a lot to do with that team as far as building it. I know he wasn't the coach, but just wanted to see what y'all thought about that. Thank you.
Avery's had mixed results as a head coach, as most do, at the NBA level, at college. I'm trying to think last conversation I had with Avery. And I think it's going to factor into where is his son, because when he left Alabama, he had options, but he wanted to be able to be around to watch his kid play. And I don't know his family situation right now, the ages of them off the top of my head. You guys could Google it and let me know. But, maybe his situation has changed where he could be a possibility. I know he's been around the team quite a bit lately. He was up in Austin with them, doing some different things like that. Not that far-fetched of an idea, but he hasn't been a part of the game for a while. So you wonder, would he be head coach or on the staff? But he's a basketball coach. He's one of those kind of guys that you would say, yeah, that's certainly a possibility.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Look, there are a lot of people that come from the Pop tree, right? I mean, they're still around the NBA. I just, to me, I don't know. And maybe it's just me wishing beyond wishing, but I've always seen this coming, and it just set up perfectly. Steve Kerr's the guy. And I think I would be almost disappointed with anybody else at this point in time. And I just think that he's just too young to retire, too young to ride off into the sunset. And I just don't believe that he's done coaching just yet. I just don't.
And I'm seeing a couple of Van Gundy comments, although dark horse candidate, Van Gundy says Ty Jones. Claymore is talking about him currently being an assistant with the Clippers for sure. Raymond with an idea on YouTube, Spurs trade for Kerr and Curry.
There you go. Who are you giving up, though? That's the thing, right?
CP3.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
Yeah.
Spurlock, it says you have the perfect scenario. Lay it out, my friend.
How's it going, guys? Well, it's basically what Joe's saying. The perfect scenario, the perfect world. If it all played out, we get Kerr in 2 years. We get to see Pop coach for a couple more years, plant his seed a little bit more with Wemby, and I think it would help with a lot of tax-paying decisions on this Project Marvel if we can get Kerr to come in to take over the range. Whether we build it through the draft or picks or whatnot the next 2 years, but it would definitely be a perfect scenario, perfect world for all of us if that was to happen. But let me ask you this. If it didn't and Pop decided to hang it up or whatever this summer and we had to bring somebody in real quick, what do y'all think about Thibodeau over there in New York? He's got the philosophy of defense. Having a number one defensive guy like Wemby, I like old Thibodeau over there. What are y'all thoughts?
I think he's a great coach.
Yeah.
And Greg Popovich has a lot of respect for that guy. He's a defensive guy, too. And, look, there are a lot of names out there and a lot of people. And Thibodeau would be one of those guys. Certainly, if you could get a guy like that, it'd be great. I just think the Spurs are a family organization, and I think they're going to want to keep it within the family. And that's why I think it's a Steve Kerr.
And I think you look at Tom and think, okay, but he's with the Knicks and what he's building there. Is he ready to leave that? That would be the first question I have. Spoelstra, as long as he's been there, is he ready to go? Is he looking for a great landing spot, not just another NBA job? Because that's the one thing, if it's not Steve Kerr, I don't want one of those coaches that are just looking for the next job and they'll take whatever job they can get. And I think Mike Brown falls into that category to a degree. So does Monty. Although I thought Monty thought he was going to be successful there in Detroit. So I don't know. I mean, but again, outside the box thinking, because somebody's going to have to get the job. Tony, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, how you going? Just driving home in this traffic. So you want to go outside the box and you want to stay in the family? Becky Hammond.
Yeah, that's been brought up a lot, Tony, and I get that, and it would probably be a lot of excitement to a lot of fans. I just think, look, the stakes are high right now for the Spurs. When they're going to roll out this new arena, I think Becky Hammond would add a lot of excitement. I don't lie to you, but are we willing to take that chance because it would be her first NBA job? I don't know. Well, I mean, it would be tough.
I think the Spurs organization would take that chance, but they would have a lot of – RC and Brian Wright would have a lot of control on who is on her staff. And it would probably have a former head coach or two, kind of like Brett Brown now, somebody that could help with some different things. The fact that she was an assistant here for a long time – certainly knows the organization in the city. They know her extremely well, and I would love it to see a Becky Hammond there, but knowing what they're about to go through, you better have a strong staff with a lot of NBA experience.
I mean, the stakes are high.
Yep.
The Spurs are going to roll out this Project Marvel, right? So you got Wemby, you got Castle, you got Fox, and who's going to coach them? And I think that's going to make a huge difference to a lot of people. You need, and I know it's not about the fans. I get all of that, but in this case it is to a big extent. When you're talking about people voting on a brand new arena that's going to cost $3 billion.
And again,
well, the whole project.
Sure, and you've got Wemby. And let's face it, a lot of other organizations are probably going to have the same idea. They're going to hear that from Steve Kerr and say, get him on the phone.
Yeah, no doubt.
Get him on the phone.
Yes.
Chicago, get them on the phone. I mean, a lot of organizations. So, but I do know Steve's love for this city.
He loves San Antonio.
And his love for Greg Popovich would certainly give this organization, and there's that Wemby guy.
Yes.
A hand up that nobody else has, for sure. It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Guys, summer is right around the corner. You got to get that dad bod in shape, ready to go. You don't want to do a sit-up. You're not going to the gym. You've been telling yourself since January you were going to go to the gym. You haven't done it yet. That's why you need to know about Dr. Connie Hires, plastic surgery and med spa. Go over there, do the M-Sculpt Neo. Joe and I have been doing that. It's fantastic. It's like doing 20,000 sit-ups, but you just lay there for 30 minutes and take a nap.
It's fantastic. It actually feels pretty good, I'll be honest with you. And you leave there, your stomach's tight. And you walk out of there just with a lot of confidence. And, hey, pool season, beach season, lake season, all of that stuff is coming up. And impress your friends. You take that shirt off. You got a six-pack hanging there, and it'd be fantastic.
It would be. And, it's something that you and your wife could do together. You both can go do M-Sculpt Neo. You've got to work on your beer gut. Maybe she wants to work on her arms and her butt. People that sculpt together, they stay together longer. They're happier. And they've got so many other services they offer there at Dr. Connie Hires Plastic Surgery and Med Spa, and a lot of specials as well.
Yeah, no doubt. In the month of March, a tummy tuck is $1,000 off. Med Spa, they've got a peaches and cream facial for $100. Mommy Makeover, $2,000 off. So they've got a lot of specials. All you need to do is go to findyourbeautiful.com, and they're all right there. You can take your pick and find out more about everything.
Just say the Blitz told you to call when you do, or if you're having her call, make sure she knows the Blitz sent you to get those specials. 210-494-8446 or the website findyourbeautiful.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, April 14th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Pan American Golf Association, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Ensira.com and PPL Motorhomes. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, April 14th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hola, mi esposo se lastimó en un accidente ayer. ¿Me puede ayudar?
Claro que sí. Estamos aquí para servirle.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7. Our team of Texas attorneys has been helping people injured in car, truck, or 18-wheeler wrecks for more than 25 years. And there's no fee unless we win. Y hablamos español. If you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Golf tournament coming up April 14th. Golf Club of Texas. Brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Looking at the weather outside. Just saw somebody post there at the golf course.
Oh, man.
Makes me a little jealous.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous of that, too. It's a beautiful day.
SASportsStar.com. Go there, get your foursome registered. It's $400 if you're waiting, because I hear this all the time. I'm trying to find my fourth. Get your team signed up.
You know you're going to find your fourth.
Yes.
You will find
And
that.
if you're worried about getting $100 from your fourth, get a different guy. Go to your boss and say, hey, we need to put this on the company credit card. You know, I see Matt posting a lot here about the coaching situation. Remember, he was all upset that he had to be out of town for our last tournament. He said he was never going to miss again. Matt, have you signed up? You know, for those of you that did, don't wait, because we're benefiting the Pan American Golf Association. That's a group of golfers that we've asked, don't sign up yet. Let our regulars get signed up before you guys sell us out.
That will happen. I mean, those guys,
yes.
they're rabid golfers.
Rabid. They
golfers.
foam at the mouth.
They do.
On tee. No.
Now, they're going to be out there. They're a lot of fun. But sign up. Let's go. Let's have some fun. We're a little over a month away from this thing, so it will sell out. Don't wait.
SASportsStar.com, brought to you in part by Ancira, PPL Motorhomes. We're going to have the after party over at the Hangar Bar there on Petranco. It's going to be a great time. Monday, April 14th, Golf Club of Texas, brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. We've got to give away some tickets to the Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live Glow and Fire, Frostbank Center, July 26th or 27th. Don't win your tickets, go to frostbankcenter.com. But if you want to go, we got a pair of tickets for you right now. Let's go caller number 12. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 12 in honor of the Aggie that is now a member of the Houston Texans. Christian Kirk gets traded today from Jacksonville to Houston within the AFC South. He was going to get released. They were able to get a seventh from Nick Caserio next year.
A seventh. Wow. They gave up a lot. That's perfect. Are you kidding me? That is a great deal for the Texans as long as Christian can stay healthy. That's been his problem over the last couple of years. So, but look, Texans needed somebody. They got a solid wide receiver, and it was a good move for them. Well done. Caserio's he's a good GM.
He is a good GM, and it would be one of those moves if he's healthy. Great in the slot, and if it were Stephen Jones,
we're going to be selectively aggressive.
You would think that would fall in line there with being selectively aggressive, because I know, some Texans fans were hoping that they could go get a Cooper Kupp, that they, DK Metcalf, although the price tag for DK Metcalf seems ridiculously high. Somebody will pay it, but
nah,
I'm glad.
Nobody's going to pay that. They're going to have to come down. You watch, Seattle will come down. They want a first and a third, but you got to realize this guy's on the final year of his contract, so you're not going to give up all of that if you don't have assurances he's going to sign. I think they'd come down from that.
I do, but again, either way, you're going to give up something, and you've got to sign him to a new deal, and you almost wonder how worth a DK Metcalf really is when you think about his production. Now, granted, he had Geno Smith as a quarterback. He's like a home run hitter. I mean, a home run hitter that strikes out a lot. Christian Kirk in his prime, and what I think he could do for Houston, be that good possession receiver and pick up some first downs for you. And he can still get over the top, but I really like a healthy Christian Kirk in the slot for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those deals just to complement Collins on the other side and be that possession guy that can get you 10, 15 yards when you need it. And it's C.J. Stroud's got to be pretty happy about that. And again, if Kirk can stay healthy, that's the key. He has been injury prone, but if he can stay healthy, that's going to help that team. And I think it was a brilliant trade. And Houston does this instead of waiting until he's released, so they have no competition. They've got him. They don't have to worry about any other teams making a play.
And if you're Jacksonville, even though it's within the division, you get something.
Yes.
You get something for him. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals, they're trying to figure out Jamar Chase. They're trying to figure out T. Higgins. They're trying to figure out Trey Hendrickson. So today they've given Trey Hendrickson permission to seek a trade.
Unbelievable to me. They obviously tagged Higgins. They say they're still negotiating. I saw a tweet from Diana Rossini about an hour ago that says they're not even close with Jamar Chase right now. That's according to Diana Rossini. So, look, he wants a lot of money. There's no question about it. I think Max Crosby is the highest paid non-quarterback right now. I think Jamar wants to eclipse that by a wide margin, right around the $40 million a year mark. So whether Cincinnati, who is known as a very cheap franchise, will they do that with Jamar Chase? Been a lot of trade requests for T. Higgins. And if I'm Cincinnati, I'm fielding those calls and getting something for T. Higgins, although Joe Burrow doesn't want to lose him. But, man, your defense is just flat out awful. And you are giving your best defensive player permission to go seek a trade.
Now he's the sack leader from 2024. I think he's led or had more sacks over the last couple of years than anybody. He's in that conversation. But he is 30 years old. And is that why Cincinnati doesn't want to give him a Micah Parsons type of contract? You know, if he were mid-20s, would you be having this conversation? He's currently due $15.8 million in base salary in 2025. None of that money is guaranteed. A trade would save Cincinnati $16 million against the cap. But his new deal, he's going to be in the 30s. I mean, you're looking at doubling his salary if you were to give a 30-year-old that kind of money. And are they worried that while that might be okay today for this season, over the course of this contract, is your body going to break down, and are you going to be healthy enough? I mean, you know, that's high cotton for somebody in their 30s that doesn't play quarterback.
Sure, I agree with that, but they got to do something. I mean, they got to do something. I mean, Hendrickson is the only guy they could count on last year defensively. That's it. Cincinnati scored more points than anybody and damn near made the playoffs with a defense that gave up more points than anybody. So they've got to address that in some way, shape, or form. So, all right, let Hendrickson go seek a trade. You get something for him. I'm still going to shop T. Higgins. And I think the Bengals would be foolish not to.
I'm with you. And, again, I'm just trying to – I don't necessarily know that I agree with this. I'm just trying, from a Cincinnati management standpoint, why would you let Trey Hendrickson out of your building? Now, obviously, you're going to get something in return. But why not give him that contract? Age, you just said it. We had him last year. He led the league in sacks, and we still sucked on defense.
Right.
So it'd be like the Cowboys being last in the league in scoring with a high-priced quarterback and high-priced wide receiver. What's the point of that? So, I mean, and we're talking about Cincinnati, a notoriously cheap franchise. But stunning to see that news come out that he was or is allowed to go somewhere else. In fact, according to Adam Schefter, he texted with Hendrickson, quote, "It's been an honor and privilege to represent Cincinnati over the last 4 years. I love this city and organization. I appreciate the privilege of now being allowed to explore my options." So he's done.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, he's going to find a trade partner, and Cincinnati's got to agree to that, obviously, whatever the terms are. But, yeah, you get something decent for him and go out, and hopefully Cincinnati, their draft is all defense. They could use a running back as well. That was a dumb move to give up Joe Mixon the way that they did. I mean, it was just a dumb move. I mean, Pledge was happy about it, but Joe Burrow certainly wasn't happy about it.
I mean, I was, but I thought Chase Brown played well for them last year.
Well, offensively, they have no issues. They have no issues. Last year, yeah, he was all right. I'd rather have Joe Mixon.
Well, and again, I mean, you look at free agent running backs because, will the Cowboys look at a free agent running back? Granted, a lot of people will. J.K. Dobbins probably tops the list, but you think about his career and his injuries, what are you willing to do there? I mean, now that the running back market has been reset a little bit by Saquon Barkley, Aaron Jones is out there, Najee Harris is going to be available, Javonte Williams out of Denver, you got a Nick Chubb. So if Cincinnati wanted to upgrade their running back position, they could certainly do that in free agency. But at the same time, they've got to do everything they can to help Joe Burrow defensively. And while all this talk with these wide receivers, and could you imagine having 2 wide receivers in the 30s like that, and you're paying Joe Burrow, and they're trying to keep him happy, a defense that could get stops would probably keep him happy.
Absolutely. It had to be frustrating as hell for that offensive unit, scoring as many points as they scored and still losing ball games. I mean, that had to be just frustrating as hell. Although they started playing really well, and I don't think anybody wanted to see that team in the playoffs, but they came up a bit short thanks to Kansas City, who was afraid to play them.
It's going to be interesting. Cowboys, what are they going to do free agency-wise? If anything, Jerry Jones with some interesting messages. We'll play what Jerry said and then try to interpret what Jerry actually meant. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Man, the basketball has been great over the last week. That Boston game last night was a lot of fun. Even more fun if you had Derek White and higher on predicted points like I did on my Pick'em entry. And that's what you do at Underdog in the Pick'em game. You pick whether you think a player is going to be higher or lower on one of their stats, points, assists, rebounds, and more. Get them right, you're going to win cold, hard cash. And you could even have a Pick'em entry with some NBA and college hoops if you want to go that route. Create the entries with your basketball picks. Play for as little as $1. Get everything right. You could win up to 1,000 times your money playing the Pick'em game at Underdog. So download the Underdog app. Sign up now with my promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code STAR. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Taking you home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
All right, guys, summer is coming. You could hit the gym, but you're probably going to say, I'll start next Monday. Here's what you need to do. You need to get M-Sculpt Neo from Dr. Connie Hires. It burns fat, builds muscle, and tightens up your abs, your arms, even your butt and your legs. And guess what? She can do it, too. Couples who sculpt together, well, call 210-494-8446 or go to findyourbeautiful.com. Findyourbeautiful.com because Dad Bod season is officially over, and Dr. Connie Hires is here to help you get ready for summer.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, Rob Thompson here from my friends over at Prize Picks. The second half of the basketball season is here. The race to playoffs is on, and there's no better time to get Prize Picks because the money, it's heating up. 1,000 times your cash, Taco Tuesdays, and the way they pay, let me tell you. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your accounts. There's no better way to get started with Prize Picks than right now as basketball season ends. And here's the best thing about Prize Picks is you can combine different leagues leagues. You got a favorite in the pros, you got a favorite in the college. You can put them together to really maximize your bets. And remember the code Alamo. Remember, you download that when you sign up today. There's money to be had. No better place than Prize Picks right now. As the basketball season winds down, go for the place to get the best cash with your favorite sports. That's Prize Picks. You know what you're doing. Go play. In fact, go run your game.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
I'm rehearsing. There are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on them.
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line.
Additional terms apply for JD Power 2024 award information. Visit jdpower.com/awards.
Madame Giselle senses a change in your future.
Is it a promotion?
I see a door opening.
Ooh, to a corner office?
There's a creature. Beady eyes, lots of hair.
Is it my boss, Dave?
No, raccoons everywhere. Your RV door is open, and they're chewing everything.
Not a problem. I'm covered by Progressive. Do you see a bigger paycheck?
Customize your coverage with Progressive's pest damage protection and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pest damage protection available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
Looking for a place where strangers become friends over great drinks and food? Welcome to The Hangar, Petrenko. Your go-to spot for mouthwatering wings, ice-cold cocktails, and an unforgettable atmosphere. Come taste some of the best wings in town. Served by their friendly staff with even friendlier cocktails. With 20 big screen TVs for all your sports needs and a gorgeous patio to enjoy the great weather, The Hangar Petrenko has got you covered. Don't miss the official after party for the San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Tournament Monday, April 14th, only at Hangar Petrenko, where great food, drinks, and friends come together.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Houston Texans have a brand new wide receiver. His name is Christian Kirk. The Jacksonville Jaguars traded Kirk to Houston for a 2026 7th-round pick. NFL draft analyst Todd McShay, back from the NFL Scouting Combine, says through his sources, he's hearing the Cowboys will not draft a running back at number 12, no matter who's available. Houston Texans made another move, signing defensive tackle Kurt Heinrich.
SportsCenter brought to you by Centergenix Testosterone and Weight Loss. CentergenXHealth.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. James Pledger breaking office rules all over the place.
Oh, yeah?
Smell that popcorn?
Oh, wow. Well, he can do that.
It's not burnt.
In his little, oh, you're talking about the smell.
Yeah.
That's the best smell in the world.
It
Are you
is,
kidding
but
me?
now I want popcorn.
Well, you can't eat popcorn and talk.
You can't.
You really can't.
I can't wait for extra ending. It was a pledge. I'm gonna die. No, I don't want popcorn, Pledge.
Jeez.
Don't be that guy.
You see what we have to put up with? I mean, it's unbelievable.
I mean, there are certain things in an office. Popcorn is one of them. Fish in the microwave is certainly one of them.
Oh, my gosh.
Brussels sprouts are certainly one of them.
Or gizzards.
Gizzards
they
are fine.
Stink, too.
Gizzards are fine.
Yeah.
Gizzards are fine.
No.
You don't even have to heat those up in the microwave.
Dude, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah, you put ketchup and gravy.
I did. In fact, I had a fried chicken last night.
Did you really?
Sure did.
Wow.
Put a little, ketchup and gravy on that bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
It was delicious.
Wouldn't you love to get a job where you can get paid a whole lot more money and work less?
Absolutely.
Congratulations to Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith according to The Athletic, is agreed finally on his new contract with ESPN, worth at least $100 million for 5 years.
Wow.
He will continue to do First Take, but he's going to scale back on some of his other required appearances on the network, which will free him up to talk more politics.
Wants to be more political. Yeah, I saw that dude. He was on, what's that show on The View? He was on The View with those girls. I know he's on with Sean Hannity from time to time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's hitting the political realm, political world.
Yeah. He'll remain a fixture on First Take, but will be less omnipresent on the rest of the network, the sources said, speaking on condition of anonymity because the terms of the agreement were not expected to be announced publicly. Smith will not be a regular on ESPN's premier NBA pregame show anymore, though he could still make occasional appearances on top basketball studio programs, as well as the Monday Night Football pregame or during other big-time events.
Wow. Well, it's a hell of a deal if you can get it, and he got it.
Yeah.
I thought ESPN was broke.
No.
They said they had to lay off all those people so they could pay Stephen A.
He brings in a lot of money.
He does.
I mean, yeah, it's
barely not enough though for those people that got laid off. Jeez.
but it's what I find interesting though is there's a lot of things. When he signed his last deal, he was on every program. I mean, you couldn't turn on ESPN without seeing him. But dude, we're paying you this. Anything happen, get Stephen A. in front of a camera.
Yeah.
And now he's like, I need more, and I'm going to do less.
Well, he's got that power now that he can do that.
Yep.
So, well, good for him. I'm not mad at anybody that
he knows how big he swings it.
Yeah, he's got a big swinger.
And he threw it out on the table, and they said, sign here.
Yeah. $100 million.
5 years. So it's 20 each.
20 per.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Does he live in Connecticut?
New Jersey, actually.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
All right.
Although, I don't know. I mean, because social media and stuff, I know he's got a really nice house, obviously, in New Jersey, but he probably keeps some sort of condo or apartment in New York City, I would think, just from a daily commute.
I would think so. And he can afford it.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Absolutely. The Cowboys can afford to spend money in free agency, but will they spend money in free agency? We know over the last couple of days with a couple of restructures, they have freed up over $50 million, 56.7 between Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Still trying to get Micah's deal done, but in talking yesterday after the Zach Martin retirement press conference, Jerry Jones said that free agency is how they plan on filling voids.
I don't think aggressive is the right word. I think when we see a part that a player that can take us in a direction that can improve where we're going to be pretty significantly from where we're going to be if that opportunity wasn't there, for that, whether it be the talent of that individual player or whether it be addressing any perceived places we need help. I wouldn't call us really void in any area, void if you include what we're going to do in the draft. Okay. I wouldn't see that. So as your question is addressing free agency, I'm not looking at free agency as a place to fill voids.
So no free agency to fill voids. He's going to draft and develop.
He's full of crap.
Well, I'm just saying. That's what the man said.
I know what he said. But right now there's only 7 teams in the NFL that have more cap space available than the Dallas Cowboys. And I know they've got 10 draft picks. So, you know, whatever the cap space is, if you actually drafted and signed 10 guys, how much of that? But they're not going to be able to do that. And if they draft 10 guys, 4 are going to work out, maybe 5. I mean, those are typical numbers from every NFL team. So unless he's telling us without saying it word for word, I'm going to get my running back in the draft. So all those free agents, I'm not going to overpay for a running back. I'm going to draft one. Need help on the defensive line. We're going to get us a war daddy. We're going to do that. But they're still going to be active. They've got to be active. even if it is selectively aggressive active in free agency because they have money to spend.
Well, but they still have free agents of their own. You mentioned Jordan Lewis. He's a guy you would think the Cowboys would want to sign and bring back. They haven't done that yet. They've got the money to do that, and you certainly don't want to go in with a rookie there, do you? I mean, I wouldn't think so. You want Jordan Lewis back, so he's got to be a priority. And then what do you do with the rest of them? Do you bring Rico Dowdle back? Do you sign him? How about DeMarcus Lawrence? They've got a lot of decisions to make on their own guys before they can start going out and doing anything else in the free agent market. But I'm with you. He's got to be active with something. I mean, he doesn't have to go after high-dollar players, but something to come in and patch up some of the holes that he's got to fill. He cannot expect to draft and have rookies come in and fix all the problems that the Cowboys are facing at this time.
When you think about what you just said, their own free agents, they've already made those decisions. You know, read between the lines of what Stephen Jones said yesterday when he was talking about their own free agents, which ones could actually hit the open market.
You know, it's just you never know till you get it done. We're obviously talking to some of those you just mentioned, not all of them. Some of them, I think they will go to the market and kind of see where the situation is. Some of them, some guys we're willing and are working on trying to get deals done.
So the ones they want to keep, they've already started those conversations. There's others, they're going to market.
So a lot of those guys are going to market.
Yeah.
The only one I really think that they need to target, and I hope that he's the one that they're talking to, is Jordan Lewis. DeMarcus Lawrence can leave. Honestly, he's been a great Cowboy, but he can go, unless he's just going to play really cheap. But he can go, and there's a lot of these. Rico Dowdle, depending on what you're going to do in the draft. I mean, and depending on what kind of money he wants.
They have. He did say yesterday they have talked to Rico, and so that's going to come down to a number.
Sure, I mean they wouldn't pay Tony Pollard $10 million a year. Will they pay Rico Dowdle that if he wants it? I hope not.
I don't know anybody that would. I mean, there was a market for Tony Pollard. I don't know what the market is for a Rico Dowdle. And again, there could be a draft pick. Although, with the 12th overall pick, I'm thinking that the Cowboys need to go with a defensive lineman. I know so many mock drafts are saying running back, and Jerry talked a little bit about a running back in the draft, but not in the first round. And he learned last year, you can't completely just draft and hope all those guys are going to come in and perform right away.
Again, to emphasize, this is not a year to rebuild at all. Last year wasn't a year to rebuild. But when we made our big commitment to Dak, then the areas that we're in, we had to depend on retaining our top homegrown guys. And if you notice the area we're dwelling in, of course, this also was interior defensive line. We think Smith will come on and be what we want him to be. And, of course, we may be there with a top pick early and just according to see how it falls. But the bottom line is this is a continuation of the plan. Now, as opportunity would come up from without that, not the draft, not from within, as opportunity comes up, we'll weigh it. And last year we would have waited, but we'll look and see the opportunity to improve on the plan that basically both defense and offense is to complement what we're wanting to do with a Dak-led team.
With a Dak, it's all Dak's fault.
Yeah.
It's all Dak's fault. If he didn't want so much money,
here we go,
Jason, everything would be okay. But with Dak's contract, we had to do this. With Dak's contract, we had to do that. We couldn't do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's all Dak's fault.
All Dak's fault.
That greedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
And get the deal done with Micah Parsons. That's what they're going to have to do. Because they know, especially now in the NFC East, it's a lot more than just keeping up with Philadelphia.
Very competitive with our division, not just the Eagles, but with the division. Eagles are a prime one to talk to because they are the world champ. And you look good when you're the world champ, as it should be. But we'll see how it goes. It's not smart to say that we're as good or better than the Eagles right now because they happen to be the world champs. So I'm not going to be dumb there.
Well, he's right. The Eagles are the king of the mountain right now, and there's 31 other teams that aren't as good as the Eagles right now. I mean, that's just a fact. So everybody's looking up at those guys. Until they get knocked off the mountain, they're the best.
Defending Super Bowl champ.
You can say it, Jason. It's all right. You might throw up a little bit, but the Eagles are the best. Come on, Jason. Make you feel better.
They are the Super Bowl champs.
And they are the best in the NFL at this point in time.
They got a trophy.
Yeah. The best. Dude, I hate the Eagles, but the fact of the matter is they're the best.
They are the current champions.
Yes, they are. The best in the NFL.
Christian Kirk, now a member of the Houston Texans. Nick Caserio pulls off a trade today. Let's talk about it with the general. John McClain joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. It is March, spring break right around the corner. Then, of course, summer. You got that dad bod, and you're trying to get rid of that before the summer time gets here. You need to know about Dr. Connie Hires, plastic surgery, and med spa, and all the different options you have there that you can get your body ready for the summer.
For example, M-Sculpt Neo. That's what Jason and I have been doing, and I tell you what, it worked. We're seeing results, both of us, and it's fantastic. And what I love about it, and I didn't know this until my last session, I was told it continues to work as you move through because it develops a memory in your muscles. And so, and it's absolutely right. I can see a difference. My wife can see a difference, and it's just fantastic. And I tell you what, fellas, there's no better way to get rid of that gut than a little M-Sculpt Neo.
Well, and again, you know, it ain't going anywhere on its own. So if you're not going to mix in a sit-up or a salad, then M-Sculpt Neo can certainly help. Now, maybe you're thinking you need to do lipo. Well, they've got a special on lipo. First area, 20% off. Second area, 30% off. Third area, 40% off. So massive discounts there, whether it's for you, the lady in your life. A discount right now, a major discount on mommy makeovers as well with Dr. Connie Hires, Plastic Surgery and Med Spa.
I tell you what, all you have to do is go to findyourbeautiful.com. All the specials are there. All the services that they offer are there. Just let them know that the Blitz sent you over when you make that appointment.
210-494-8446 or findyourbeautiful.com.
Ready for the ultimate sports fan getaway? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is headed to Vegas, and we're bringing you along. Why? Because watching the games from your couch in sweatpants just isn't the same. Join Jason and Joe from the Blitz for a mega March weekend you'll never forget or possibly remember. We're talking Vegas here. March 27th through the 30th, we're hitting up Circa Las Vegas for opening day. And the second weekend of the tournament, a.k.a. Sports Heaven, baby. Thursday, March 27th, the party starts with baseball's opening day at the world's largest sports book. That's right, big screens, big games, and big opinions from Jason and Joe. It's basically like watching sports at home, but with no chores and way more pools. Speaking of pools, dive into 6 of them at Stadium Swim and catch all the action on a 143-foot screen. Lock in now. Go to CircaLasVegas.com. Use promo code BLITZ and party with Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino. Sports, pools, Vegas. What could possibly go wrong?
Made in America, highest quality. That's Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. There's a reason Dave Ramsey says a Connecticut is a wise investment for your home.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it.
It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country. 210-656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
License number 38961.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been, because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this: the insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Rock's Discount Vitamins and More wants to thank God and San Antonio for making Rock's the king of supplements. Are you losing weight, building muscle, or just getting healthy? Rock's has you covered. Weight loss and muscle building packages starting at just $75. Plus, get a free in-body scan in 15 seconds with the In-Body 270 analysis. Start tracking your results today. The pros at Rock's know their products, how they work, and what's best for your health and fitness goals. Call 210-342-7625 or visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com.
The St. Patty's Day parties at the Roo Pub are legendary, and this year it will be the biggest ever, spanning 2 days. Sunday, March 16th, it's a crawfish boil, all you can eat for $10. Then on St. Patrick's Day, Monday, it's a block party. The green beer will be flowing with live music starting at 2 with Irish Goodbye. Finding Friday takes the stage at 5. DJs inside both the Roo Pub and Angry Elephant. Plan now to celebrate St. Patrick's Day the right way at the Roo Pub and Angry Elephant, 281 in Redland Road.
I'm A.J. Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6, your early morning wake-up call on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Chase Munix. Don't forget, tomorrow the Blitz live out at Mellow Mushroom in Stone Oak. We'll be out there 2 to 6 to help kick off your weekend. And if you're a Texan fan, celebrate. Nick Caserio pulls off a big trade today. Let's talk about it with the General. John McClain joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Christian Kirk was going to get released. Instead, Jacksonville gets a 7th for next year. As Stephen Jones would probably say, that was being selectively aggressive. Good move, though, for Houston.
Yes, it was. Same thing happened last year with running back Joe Mixon. All the reports said the Bengals were going to cut him because they didn't like the contract and they were ready to move on. And, of course, the player wants to get cut because if he's cut, he can have multiple teams to negotiate with. And Caserio told the Bengals, look, we'll give you a 7th-round pick. That's better than nothing to take him off your hands. And they did. and then they redid the contract to lower the cap figure, and it turned out to be a great move. If he hadn't missed 3 games because of a hip drop tackle, he'd had like 1,500 yards, and he already was in double digits for touchdowns. Now, Christian Kirk, who played at A&M, second-round pick of Arizona, signed a big free agent deal with Jacksonville. He's 28, and I think he's 29 in November. Last year, Joe Mixon was 28. And all these receivers that are available are going to be available are 31 or 32. In Tyler Lockett's case, he'll be 33 in September. So instead of overpaying for guys that teams didn't want them because they made too much money or they gotten too old, I think this was a really good deal. I remember when he was A&M, that first year, I think he had 1,000 yards, returned 3 or 4 kicks for touchdowns. If he had just wanted to be a return man and not a receiver, no telling what he could have achieved in the NFL. He was as good a return guy as I've seen in college football. And but now the good thing is he didn't have an injury to one of his legs. He had a broken shoulder, so those heal, and they're really excited to get him, as they should be. So now that they have him, they can worry about getting a receiver in probably the 3rd round after they take care of the offense and defensive lines, or vice versa, in the 1st and 2nd rounds.
Well, now Kirk has a quarterback to throw to him. Mac Jones was throwing to him there, and Trevor Lawrence obviously has struggled a little bit. But I think C.J. Stroud, if you're Christian Kirk, you got to be pretty happy about getting an opportunity in Houston. John, I'm just curious, what is the outlook for Tank Dell? Is he coming back, or is he out for the season?
No, he's gone. He was never coming back.
Okay.
Next season. You don't have an injury like that, and people were surprised when Dell put it out on Instagram this week that he was having ACL surgery. Well, when you have all those ligaments and cartilage injured on the same one, you'd like to think they just go in there, doctor or 2 doctors, and they just fix them all at once. But that's not the way it is. I know some ACLs, they don't do it for like 6 weeks because swelling has to go down. So there's no way he's going to be able to play next season. They're not saying that, of course, and they love to have him come back at some point. But if that happened, it'd be a miracle. They're hoping he'll come back and be 100% in 2026. But nobody knows when a guy who depends so much on his quickness, not necessarily his speed. He ran a 4.49 at the combine. You know, he's all about quickness. And quickness, of course, is about quick cuts. So we won't know till we see him come back on the field.
John McClain joining us here on the Blitz as the Texans make the move for Christian Kirk. I know some Texans fans were hoping for maybe a Cooper Kupp, and no way that the Texans would pay what Seattle wants for a DK Metcalf. But do you think Nick Caserio is done from a trade standpoint before free agency starts next week, or is this just a primer to what we can expect for Houston to start doing next week?
And I don't understand the interest on the fans' part about Cooper Kupp. I see all these fan sites. He hasn't done squat since 2021. He's averaged missing 6 games in each of the last 3 seasons. He just can't stay healthy. And when he's been healthy, he's been good. Now, maybe the Rams, everybody knows the Rams are going to cut him. Maybe Caserio says, hey, we got an extra 6 around here. We'll give that to you. And he makes too much money. He'd have to have his deal redone. But he's 32 years old and hadn't had a healthy season since he was 28. I'm glad they got Christian Kirk first. And if they still want to bring in Cooper Kupp, I'm fine with it. And if it works out, great. It's a low pick. And if it's not, then at least they took a swing on it. But I still think they will use a lot of people had them taking a receiver in the first round. I never thought about that. Never Never heard D'Amico Ryan say you win with a wide receiver. He always says you have to win with the guys up front on both sides of the ball. Never has he said you got to win with a wide receiver. Andre Johnson could come back in his prime, and if you don't give C.J. Stroud time to throw, he's wasted. And so that's why they got to worry about that. And if there's not a guy who can play on the interior when they pick 25th, and then wait till the second round, it's a really deep draft for defensive tackles. But I got to think Tyler Booker or Gray Sable, the two best interior guys, one of them will be there when they pick 25th.
Well, so you think that they'll go through the draft, John. Is there any possibility they might want to upgrade that with a veteran in the free agent market? Is that a possibility?
Oh, I think they'll sign a veteran and draft a guy. They better. If they think they can go into next season with the same lineman and bring in one new guy, I know they're the experts, but I haven't seen one thing that makes me think they can do that. Shaq Mason, the right guard, they should get rid of him. He was terrible, gave up 10.5 sacks, according to Next Gen stats. Poor old Green.
Kenyon Green?
Kenyon Green. I get him and Kendrick mixed up. Kenyon Green. I'll be stunned if he's back. He had a terrible year when it came to pass protection. So they have the second most money invested in the offensive line now to Carolina. And have they gotten their reward for that? No. One thing they don't need is a tackle. There's a lot of people, will Titus Howard play right tackle or left guard? Well, they drafted Blake Fisher in the second round last year to play right tackle. And didn't draft him in the second round to have him be in the swing tackle. So he'll play right tackle, and Titus Howard's best position is left guard. There is a great website by a fan here who went to Incarnate Word and played football. His name's Garrett Williams, and it's called Houston Stressens, Stressens. He does the best breakdowns of line play I have ever seen, and he's got them on his site for the offensive line and also for Titus Howard. It's kind of work. I wouldn't want to put in that kind of time, but if somebody else does, I'll sure read and refer to it.
Absolutely. John McClain joining us here on The Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. A lot of players getting released. Jacksonville looks like they're cleaning house. Not only Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, a couple other players released today. But what is going on in Cincinnati? You know, they got the two receivers that both want to get paid, and today they said, Trey Hendrickson, go find a trade partner.
You have one of the cheapest teams in the league historically having to re-sign their second, third, and fourth best players. Only Joe Burrow is under contract. Jamar Chase was the best receiver in the NFL last year. T. Higgins was great. And Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks. So they got to find a way to do it. I think what they did on Hendrickson, his agent said, we want this. Well, we can't pay you that. So why don't you check around the league and see if you can find somebody who'll pay you that? And if you do, maybe we'll trade you. And I don't think they would. What's the purpose of bringing back Higgins and Chase and having a great offense if you give up your best defensive player? That's like Joe Burrow. He said, rework my contract. He said, free up some cap dollars to keep him. He's been very outspoken. If they let Hendrickson go, I don't think anybody be talking about them in Super Bowl in the same sentence.
Well, John, I tell you, that defense, I mean, you know as well as anybody, that the offense was the best in the league last year, but they couldn't outscore everybody, and that was the problem. That defense is horrible in Cincinnati.
It was, and they had one great player, this Trey Hendrickson, and they've let other guys go, and that's what they should be focused on in the draft, defense, and more defense. It's amazing to me they got rid of Joe Mixon. Every team in the league that got rid of their running back because they didn't want to pay him, the teams they went to, like Green Bay, the Giants, Baltimore, Houston, all those teams, they played well. And all the teams that were left, their running games were worse. And Cincinnati's was worse without Joe Mixon. So they have to throw the ball all the time, and they need some semblance of a running game. And I just can't imagine the Brown family would let their best defensive player get away.
John McClain covered the NFL for decades, Hall of Fame voter. Yesterday, Zach Martin announced his retirement. In 5 years, will he be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
He should be, but it depends on who the competition is. You know, we don't know right now. Let's see. If I thought about it a lot, I'll say yes, he's going to get in on the first ballot. But he certainly, if he didn't get in on the first, he would get in on the second. And I thought it was very cool, the send-off the Cowboys gave him and the players, his former teammates and coaches who came back to participate in the celebration.
No doubt about it. He's and one of a kind, one of the best in the business. There's no doubt about that. As are you, John McClain.
Can you imagine? Jerry Jones wanted to draft Johnny Football.
I know.
And he had his name on the card, and Stephen Jones' son reached out and grabbed it. No, Dad, we cannot do this. And Jerry Jones admits he made a mistake.
Yeah, well, I mean, but Stephen corrected it. What a move, although you say it that way, and I think we can all believe that Jerry would have, and I'm actually still kind of surprised Jerry didn't. Glad he didn't, but kind of surprised he didn't.
Well, he came to his senses at just the right time. I was at the draft in New York, and everybody was talking about Jerry Jones and Johnny Football together, and then they draft a guard. Oh, nobody cares about a guard. We wanted Johnny Football. Turned out to be one of the best non-moves in NFL history.
You won't hear Jerry admitting mistakes very often, so treasure that one.
Absolutely.
Well, it'd take too long if he started doing that.
Well, true. Very, 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 very true. Just in 5 years, Zach Martin needs to be a first ballot guy. I know you guys have changed the rules a little bit, but he certainly feels like a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He sure does.
All right, he does.
John doesn't like to get people.
I know, he does. Yeah.
On the record stuff, Hall of Fame voter. I'm not going. Yeah, good stuff. John, always appreciate it, man. Enjoy your weekend. Free agency next week when we talk. It'll be fun.
I can't wait, guys. Thank you very much.
Good stuff. Make sure you follow John on Twitter at McClain_on_NFL. John McClain, the best, but he always gets a little careful when it comes to talking about the Hall of Fame.
Shereen Williams does too.
I mean, you know, it's such an honor and a privilege to be able to talk to Hall of Fame voters.
It really is. It's outstanding. Bobby Wagner's going back to Washington, by the way. Ian Rappaport just announced that. I just thought you want to know.
Thanks.
Eagles are the best.
What does that have to do with the Washington Command Skins?
Well, they're second best.
I mean,
does that leave the Dallas Cowboys?
Technically, they're not second best.
Third?
Yes.
Well, technically they are. Well, I guess you can make a choice.
Good
they went to
Lord.
the NFC Championship game, didn't they?
Well, again, they didn't make the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl loser would be second best.
Okay, so you got to pick between Washington and who the hell Kansas City beat?
Wow, you're Buffalo Bills.
My Buffalo Bills. Yeah.
You and your love affair with Josh Allen.
Well, you know.
At a bachelor party like you. You know, boys, bachelor party. Let's go to the TGL.
Is that crazy? That's why he was at the TGL. It was a bachelor party.
Well, it's kind of like you going to the golf simulator at the golf store. Let's go celebrate, guys.
No, I had better bachelor parties than that.
Well, you've had a lot of them, but your last one.
Yeah, my first one.
You're lucky you made it to the altar.
Yeah, and I was feeling pretty good when I got there.
Yeah, were you feeling anything?
I don't remember.
How about them Cowboys? It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It is March. You need to get your guys, your uniforms, everything ready for the spring. The spring line on display at Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. You need your logo on a nice golf shirt, fishing shirt, any kind of dress shirt, short sleeve shirt, T-shirt, screen printed. Go see Sam. You need caps done. Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom and all the popular brands, including the Katie caps, Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Nike Cap America, and he's got them in stock. All the big name shirt brands as well, North Face, Eddie Bauer, Nike, Travis Matthew, Under Armour, Port Authority, to name a few. If you need new uniforms done, go see Sam. Over 700 uniforms to choose from, all kinds of industries, medical, restaurant, construction, schools, leagues, so much more. Nobody has better prices, and Sammy is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. All items do come with the warranty. So call Sammy's Embroidery and Printing, 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we made it. Conference tournament time is here. We'll get you ready for all the big games.
And the Spurs back in action on Friday night. We'll preview what's going on with them and the rest of the weekend. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat. Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
San Antonio, are you ready? The 2025 NCAA Men's Final Four is coming to the Alamo City. The NCAA Men's Final Four Fan Fest, presented by Capital One, brings fun for all ages. Fan Fest is a sports wonderland of interactive games with celebrity and athlete appearances, giveaways, and much more. Come ready to play April 4th through the 7th at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. The event is free for kids 12 and under, Capital One card holders, military personnel, and 2025 Final Four ticket holders. Visit ncaa.com/men's Final Four.
Welcome to The Hangar, Petrenko, your go-to spot for mouthwatering wings, ice-cold cocktails, and an unforgettable atmosphere. Come taste some of the best wings in town, served by their friendly staff with even friendlier cocktails. Only at Hangar Petrenko, where great food, drinks, and friends come together.
From a fender bender to a total loss, Davis Law Firm has a team of expert attorneys ready to get you back on the road with the verdict or settlement you deserve. Y hablamos español. Want more? Call the Fours. Davis Law Firm, San Antonio, 444-4444.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Summer is coming. Time to get rid of that dad bod. Time for Lipo 123. First area, 20% off. Second area, 30% off. Third, 40% off. It's like a discount for every slice of pizza you regret. Call 210-494-8446 or findyourbeautiful.com. It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Tomorrow, the Blitz live out at Mellow Mushroom.
That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to lunch already.
Me too.
Man, that'll be good. That'll be fun to go out there and be at Mellow Mushroom. It's a great place.
It is best pizza.
Yeah, it's good.
And if you've never been to Mellow Mushroom and you're coming by tomorrow, a couple of things. One, pizza's fantastic. During our show, it's half-price happy hour, so every adult beverage is half price there at the bar, which is fantastic. And they do have a full bar. But get the pretzel bites and the beer cheese.
Pretzel bites and beer cheese.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think they ran out of pineapple, so that's off the table.
I don't need the menu. For lunch, we're having the Mighty Meter.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I am good with that.
There's not a vegetable on there.
It's good stuff. I've
Yep.
had the Mighty Meter.
Yep.
It's good.
Get it every time. Tomorrow, 2 to 6. That's easy. Plan ahead for Las Vegas. The end of this month. About 20 days. We're like 3 weeks away. We're going to be in Las Vegas at Circa Las Vegas for Mega March Weekend.
That's going to be a blast. I can't wait for that for a number of reasons. I mean, it's cool to go to Vegas. It's cool to go to Circa. But, man, there's no better place to watch NCAA tournament basketball than Circa. And opening day of baseball, that's exciting as well. And, man, it's just I'm looking forward to it.
Between all the screens at Stadium Swim and then the world's largest sports book there inside the casino. And what's crazy, when you're in that pool, it doesn't matter what the temperature is, you're going to be comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And it's amazing the technology in that pool and the scenery. And the screens, too. It's great. The service at the pool. One of those cabanas, it's fantastic.
Awesome.
SASportsStar.com, there is a link to the registration page for you to book your rooms there at Circa Las Vegas, or if you go to the hotel website directly, circalasvegas.com, promo code BLITZ will save you a lot of money on your room. Again, the Blitz live the Thursday and Friday, 27th and 28th out there at Circa, but we're staying for the weekend. So we're going Wednesday to Sunday.
Well, of course. I mean, after working our tails off on Thursday and Friday, we need a reward.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on.
We're not coming home Friday afternoon.
No.
In fact, we're going to do a big Blitz party on Saturday.
Sure.
Which is going to be great. So if you're going, let us know. Let's see. A couple of questions coming in on YouTube. Shane Hughes says, I'll see you there tomorrow, coming for a late lunch. Appreciate it,
nice.
Shane.
Yeah.
We look forward to meeting you. Tom Guerrero wants to know, do they have a vegetable pizza? You know, they do. They got vegetables, vegetarian pizzas. They even have gluten-free dough if you need that. So if that's what you want, they've got it for you there.
And they probably
at
have
Mellow
pineapple.
Mushroom. Well, they do have. And we'll talk to them. TJ wants a Joe's Toast pizza. We could probably do that.
You blame him?
We could.
Joe's Toes.
We could probably come up with a pizza there at the Mellow Mushroom called Joe's Toes. They get creative over there.
Sure.
They do. Don't know if they still have it, but at one point they had, granted, the guy that was working there that came up with this is from California, but it was called the In-N-Out pizza. and that pizza tasted like a In-N-Out burger.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was good.
Wow, okay.
I know you don't like In-N-Out, but that In-N-Out pizza was good. Guy named Trey that used to work there, he came up with that.
Well,
I don't know if Pete still has it on the menu. And if you're there tomorrow and you see a guy that looks like Scott Van Pelt, that's Pete. He owns the place. Swear to God, he looks just like Scott Van Pelt.
Going to be fun. I'm looking forward to tomorrow for a variety of reasons.
You know, a couple of times Pete has ended up on that Scott Van Pelt segment, where people take tall, bald guys and think it's SVP and tweet at SVP. Pete's been that a couple, 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
They're almost twins. Almost.
That's awesome. Plus, we got Kellen Mond is going to be on with us tomorrow.
Kellen Mond, not in person, but
no.
Kellen Mond.
He's training.
Yeah. And actually is doing the work. You're hearing all this weird stuff about the UFL and are they going to go on strike and all that kind of stuff. And there was some talk about would they boycott media days. It looked like everybody from the Brahmas did what they were scheduled to do today. Kellen Mond coming on with us tomorrow, 3:35. So, Kellen's one of those the UFL is perfect for him. We'll talk to him about this. Big time college player goes to the NFL, hadn't worked out in the NFL, go somewhere where you can get reps, and this is what this league is about.
Absolutely. So it'd be fun to talk to him. He's looking for another opportunity to get back into the NFL, and so I have a feeling he's gonna have a great season.
Yep. Ricky, what time's party at Mello start? Show is 2 to 6. You know that.
But if you want to come early and have lunch, you can do that.
And stick around later?
Absolutely.
I think they open at 11. If you really want to be the one that shows up early to get a table, you could do that.
And then you guys can hang around for happy hour.
Yes.
And we'll watch you drink.
And we end at 6 as happy hour does.
You think we could extend that by a couple of minutes?
We know people.
All right.
We know people.
All right, just checking.
Order ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know what we do every Thursday about this time?
The Blitz wants you to know what's on tap. Presented by Sam's
guess we're going to start seeing all the South by Southwest shows showing up, and hopefully some of those will have some offshoot shows here in San Antonio. Austin Gillemick. Eating popcorn, so it's going to be an interesting ride. Coming up here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 2 o'clock at the Mellow Mushroom.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.